today I have a fantastic guest, someone who honestly I've wanted to have on the show for a while now, but I was waiting for them to have their re-debut. So when it finally got scheduled, I sort of, put on my calendar, was like, all right, I want to reach out to them, wait until they're ready, but I don't want to do it beforehand because obviously re-debuts are very, very busy, big productions in and of themselves, and I didn't want to stress this person out. But as it got closer, I sent out a message and I was like, hey, would you maybe want to do this just after you've re-debuted? And thankfully, she said yes. She's here with me today. Please welcome my guest, AyuuChii.
Hi! Hello, hello.
Hello! So good to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I should be the one thanking you.
By the way, chat, let me know how the levels are for AyuuChii, myself, and for the BGM. Always be tinkering around with those, so hopefully everybody can be heard nice and clear.
Please don't let me destroy your ears. Let us know.
But yes, so AyuuChii, you've been very, very busy lately, and obviously, congratulations once again on your re-debut. It was a fantastic stream. There was, shall we say, a lot of big PP energy for those who are in the know. I know the VOD is still available on your channel. That was quite a train that got going. It was very fun, very silly, but very you at the same time. So definitely, if you don't know AyuuChii and want to learn more about her after today, that is, like I said, still available on her channel. So do check that out. Oh, and Emerald at VTV, thank you for the follow. So AyuuChii, with that re-debut, well, I guess, sorry, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Obviously, I'm assuming most of the people tuning in today know who you are, but for anyone who doesn't, if you could introduce yourself.
Okay, no problem. Hello everyone, I'm AyuuChii. I am a virtual variety streamer. I am French, but I stream in English. I do video games, I'm an artist, I do chatting, I help new streamers and VTubers get into it, I give advice. And in general, I'm just someone who likes to spread positivity and, make people appreciate their life and have a good time.
Yes, indeed. And I actually missed a couple other follows. Fetish was taken, the cutest Neko, and Proxy Sides, thank you for the follows as well. So you obviously had your re-debut, and I think it was a week ago today, correct?
Tomorrow it will be a week ago. I think it's it was a week ago. God,
sorry,
that passes
time
so
is
fast.
Weird. Yeah,
time is weird. God, I feel like it has been like a month, but at the same time 2 days. Like it's all
it blurs together for sure. But if you could, I suppose, start with the preparation for all that, because obviously, like I said, re-debuts are a big production no matter what you do, but you had a whole bunch going on. You had the usual with the About You slides, but you also had this fantastic lore pre-roll that you did. If you could tell us a bit about that.
Oh boy. The lore stuff kind of went as like a last time thingy because I wanted to, re-debut normally, but then I was like, I need a video because so many people keep asking me about, the bunny ears and like the scar stuff. So I was like, yeah, I could do that, but I wanted it to stay in my budget, which is really complicated because, illustrations art is expensive. So it was kind of like a last minute decision in April where I was like, okay, I need a video for that. I really want one. And I just kind of sketched out like a little storyboard, but that was like super small, like it was really nothing. But my artist worked really well, like it was really smooth, and they finished it in like about 2 weeks, which keep in mind it was like 22 illustrations or something. So like, in my opinion, they did super good. It was amazing. We also had the whole editing stuff with my friend Crocodile, who's probably in the chat right now.
Yes, I do see them. Hello.
So it was my first time kind of giving instructions to people, like feeling like the director of something. Just telling people, okay, I would like heartbeat noises on that part of the thingy. I would like the music to stop there. So it was a very, very new experiment, but it was really good, and I'm really glad people liked it, because I was kind of afraid at first, because I was like, what if people think it's boring? What if it's too long? What if it's too short? Re-debut anxiety. But it went really well, so I was really excited about that. That was so cool.
Yeah, the chat definitely enjoyed it, and it was really cool seeing all that come together, because it wasn't just the illustrations, it was the music, you had voiceover in it, it was a full production.
Yeah, looking for all the musics on YouTube was like a really like hard part, because I had to like search for musics that were, first of all, free of use, copyright free. But also that just matched with the whole vibe, and that was like the worst part because I needed one scary song, one song that is sad, one song that's more happy, and I was like, where can I find all of this?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I didn't want Twitch to like kick my ass and be like, no, copyright stuff bad. So yeah, we did our best, and I'm really glad we all came to this, even though we had like very last minute stuff. I asked my artist on Saturday, the day before my debut, to make me one last illustration, which was the shot where she shows her hands. So it wasn't a very big thing, but I wanted to add something more in the lore, and I thought that scene was just needed because it was really dark and really like scary. So I was like, can you do this for me? And they finished it in like 20 minutes. They were just a god to work with, honestly. Yeah, I felt so bad. I was like, I'm sorry, this is so last minute, but could you take my commission?
Artists are superheroes.
I felt really bad. Oh, I know, I swear to God. They were super nice to work with. Unfortunately, they're Japanese, so communication sometimes was a little complicated. But I did have like a whole translator stuff. And they were really happy about how the lore video turned out. They even sent me like a big DM saying like, when I watched the video, I didn't even think it was me who drew those things because you just like the editing made them so good together.
Oh, wow.
So it made my day. It was so cute. They're adorable.
That's so cool. That's fantastic.
Know.
So what was the storyboarding process for that like? Because it was a full lore video that I think the runtime was somewhere around 3.5 minutes or something, that it was not short.
About 4 minutes, yeah. Yeah. Well, basically the whole thing started just with like, I just grabbed my notebook and I just started like writing dialogue and like ideas on it. And I think I went through about 5 different scripts before being happy with what I wanted. I just like kept scribbling pages and be like, nah, that's not what I want. This isn't good enough. I also had to draw like little sketches in it to be like, okay, exactly what angle do I want for my character? What expression does she need to do? Etc, etc. The only thing that I did in the lore video was the little transitions with like the words moving on it. So it wasn't much, but it was still kind of exhausting to do because it was like 4 frames of the same words again and again, and I had to make sure that they weren't exactly the same, but also still like kind of the same. So it was a little complicated, but honestly, no credits to me because that was the easiest part of the entire video. The others had way harsher jobs, to be honest, but yeah, no, I'm so happy it came together. I honestly, at first I wanted backgrounds for each scene, and I know some people probably were like, why is she in a white screen all the time? But I think it feels a little more spiritual, the fact that, you know, she's kind of like trapped in like a white space. I think it worked pretty well, even though it was, I'll be honest, it was for budget reasons as well, because backgrounds are very expensive.
Hey, there's a saying, restrictions breed creativity. And sometimes if you have a restriction of budget, that means that you need to be creative in other ways to get your story through. And obviously, for the story, I know we're sort of dancing around it, but I want people to seek out that VOD and be able to actually see it for themselves. I don't want to do a full spoiler here, deep dive, because you talk about it in depth during your during the re-debut, so I don't want to just rehash all that, but I definitely want to hype up the fact that it was really well done, and it's super cool that you put all these pieces together and were able to seek out these different creators to help you put this vision together. So again, folks in the chat or watching the VOD, be sure to seek that out. AyuuChii's info is here for both her Twitch and her Twitter account, so definitely be sure to give her a follow there. And I suppose if I had to sum you up in one sentence, it would be aggressively positive goth One-san.
That's exactly how I describe myself, to be honest, so you got it perfectly right.
Well, you are part of a actual VTuber, well, sorry, not a VTuber group, but a Twitch team, rather, called the Virtual One-san, so I sort of was able to steal that second part there, because it certainly fits, but aggressive positivity is really your brand that... for those who haven't been to one of AyuuChii's streams before, a lot of her just interactions with chat involved with, oh, good morning, I hope you're doing well. And if you're not doing well, you better start doing well and take care of yourself, drink water, I will come and stab you.
Exactly. God, if I did that IRL, my friends would freak out. They don't know what I'm doing. I wish I could just do that all the time, but then people get freaked out. But since I'm an anime girl on the internet, it's better. when it's a real life person telling you to take care of yourself,
Yeah,
and they
but
will stab
that's
you.
part of the magic of streaming and VTubing, that you can do that
Exactly.
and just lean into it as a character.
Exactly.
But it's the type of thing of you're always looking out for, fans in chat, people on your Discord server, that you're very, very, very caring just in general, and that you are looking to spread positivity through your streams, and it's, take care of yourself or else.
Yeah, I think people need a big reminder about that, because especially with the whole pandemic going on, people kind of started, there's more promotion about mental health. People speak a lot more about it, like, you should take care of yourself. Have you forgotten to drink water today? Eat 2 times or 3 times a day. It's important. But I feel like with the pandemic, so many people just went into a state of just really just feeling bad all the time. And until it's done, some people might stay in it even after COVID is done, to be honest.
It's been
So
a long, gosh, we're nearing 18 months at this point.
I swear.
It's been a while, but
It has.
that's part of, I suppose, why VTubing has become so big and why it's been so important in this past year and a half. That obviously there's never a good time for something like this to happen, but I suppose there's never been a better time either, because imagine if this was 20 years ago or something, doing this without the internet, of just the degree of connectivity that people have and the amount of entertainment and healthy escapism that we're able to get nowadays is something that, if this was even 10, 15, 20 years ago, it would be so much rougher. And VTubers in particular really hit their stride at the right time, because it's allowed the community as a whole to grow. It's given creators an opportunity to, find new creative outlets for themselves. Like, there's a lot of people who, whether it be in traditional acting or singing, people who can't do, in-person gigs anymore, discovered streaming and VTubing, and that's allowed them to be able to continue their own passions while also helping others smile along the way. That I know for myself, I can't say that I was in a particularly dark place or anything prior to discovering VTubing, but it goes without saying that for me, discovering VTubing has given me, and I know many, many others, just something a little extra to look forward to, just that little bit of extra connection. Obviously, parasocial relationships are not a good thing, but I think that the vast majority of VTuber fans have found a very healthy way to connect with streamers and with each other.
Yeah, totally. It's not like close friends, but you still feel a kind of bond with your viewers that you wouldn't feel with someone you meet on the streets,
Yeah.
or like a friend you've talked to for a while. It's a special kind of bond. You're not like friends, but like they're still very, very close to you. Like all my regulars, I love them very much, and when I see their names, like it makes me smile. Doesn't mean that we're friends, obviously, because I don't talk to them offline most of the time, but like it's I don't know how to call it. I don't think people have given it a name, but like it's a different kind of love. Honestly,
it's sort of just an unspoken understanding.
Exactly. There were people trying to do VTubing a long time ago, but it didn't blow up as much as today. I think it's, first of all, because of the pandemic. Obviously, we all had free time and we didn't really know what to do. But also kind of the uprising of art and technology, and also anime. Because like 10 years ago, watching anime was kind of like, are you a child? You know what I mean? And now watching anime became more of like a, people started growing into liking it, and nobody's really like joking about it, saying, oh my god, you're like such a child, you watch anime. Because to be honest, every younger person that I know than me watches anime now. Like, it's just a normal thing. So when people knew that like you could turn into an anime girl or boy and like represent yourself that way and like make people smile, people were just like, that's amazing. But I have found videos of like very, very old VTubers that were like 3D people doing vlogs, but it never really blew up because, it wasn't the time for it. Like, most people that were on YouTube were young adults that weren't really into that anyways. And now we have like the whole freaking Samsung fucking Sam girl.
Gosh.
Like, it became a trend, and I don't think it's bad, honestly. I think it's really good because it helps us not only, be less insecure. If you're insecure about yourself IRL, you don't want to show your face because you're too shy, but at the same time you do want to entertain people. Like, it's a great way if you don't like your background in your room because, you know, it's messy maybe, or if there's a specific part of your face that bothers you, you can just be a cute anime girl.
Yeah, and it
That's the
provides
best.
just a level of privacy that couldn't be there before. That
Yeah.
it allows someone that, if you
Oh,
want to do
totally.
this, but also don't want it to cross over into your real life, that you're able to do this
Mhm.
now. And just the physicality and the difference, I suppose, that you have for
Yeah,
someone who is a vocal only streamer, like it's very different when you have someone playing a game and it's just voiceover versus when you have
exactly.
a face cam or a model, just some sort of physical
Mhm.
representation so you can see expressions and just
Mhm.
all of these non-verbal things that really help sort of create that connection and that empathy.
Yeah, well, especially because I watched, before getting into streaming, I was really anxious. I took it seriously immediately. So I watched a bunch of videos that give, like, advice about, like, streaming and all that. Of course, it wasn't, like, VTubing specific. And they said, get a webcam. And I was like, oh no. I was like, but I don't really want to show my face though, because like I'm not necessarily insecure in my face. I don't think I look, you know, ugly. It's just, yeah, the level of privacy, because
Yeah,
I've had
there's a
stalkers
difference of
before.
being
I was like,
insecure
yeah, I
about your
don't,
appearance and
yeah,
not wanting everyone on the internet to be able to see your face.
exactly. Exactly. You just don't want people to know what you look like. You're like, yeah, that's the part of me that I want to keep in real life. You guys
Yeah.
need to know me in real life to see that.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, it was a pretty big deal. But when I even started VTubing before knowing it was a thing. Like, I had a VTuber model, but I didn't know the term VTubing was a thing. I was just like, yeah, I have a software and my avatar on it, but I'm a streamer. And then I discovered it, and I at the first time I felt kind of weird calling myself a VTuber, because I was like, maybe it's like this big term for only big creators who have like really cute avatars, and I'm here with my free DeviantArt model.
Hey,
But
everyone
like,
starts somewhere.
yeah, exactly, exactly. That's I kind of pride on that too, because I started with basically nothing. Like, I had no overlays, had a free model. I didn't even have a webcam. I used to have a software that would track with my mouse. So if I moved my mouse, my character would move their faces. And so yeah, I do really pride on that. The fact that I completely started free, because so many people like to think that if you get like really expensive models, you'll make it immediately and like you'll be a big boom in the community. Where nowadays it's just so normal to see VTubers, I feel like it doesn't work anymore to just get a super good model and then boom, you'll get tons of viewers and followers. Because
Yeah,
now it's
the
not unique anymore.
the
Now it's just
community has
normal.
grown to the point where it's, just like any other streamer, really. Well, I suppose not just like any other streamer, but it's
Mm.
more saturated, to use sort of a business
Yeah.
term there, that you need to do more to stand out.
Exactly. Well, I mean, there is certain categories that you can stream where most of the time it's IRL people. For example, I've searched through the ASMR category. It's mostly humans, like actual humans, and I've
Yeah.
seen like 2 or 3 VTubers stream it, but not much. However, if you go into the art category, good luck finding a human being. There's only VTubers. That's all there's left. Just
We've taken
VTubers.
over. Today the art
Exactly.
tag, tomorrow the world.
Exactly. There's just VTubers everywhere. I mean, logical, because VTubing involves a lot of art, whether it's like 3D or 2D or like
Yeah.
even mocap. So it just involves art in a way. So I was not shocked, but like the fact that I barely get to see a human in that tag anymore,
Hmm.
it's so funny. They've been eradicated. Nobody. There's no more humans in the art
One of
tag.
us. One of us.
I swear. Now when I find a human, I'm like, wait, why do they move like that? It's weird. I don't really watch a lot of human people anymore, I'll be honest. Not a lot of them. There's too many VTubers.
Yeah, I don't watch too many myself. Also,
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right. Xhands81 and Nightmare1505. Thank you for the follows. So you mentioned ASMR, and that's actually an
Hmm.
area that you started dabbling into yourself.
Yeah. Well, I was really interested by it because, well, some of my friends like Vividly ASMR did it for like, a lot of their streams were like this.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I've always kind of liked it, but, I was just like, maybe I'm just not it's kind of like the VTuber tag at the beginning. You're like, yeah, I like it, yeah, I can do it, but should I really put the category on me because I'm not doing it good? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just getting started. Do I really deserve to say, like, I'm doing ASMR if it's bad? That's like the VTuber anxiety stuff. But yeah, no, it's honestly, it's such a small category, and there's so little VTubers that when you get into it, it's I've seen people like just straight up leave everything else and just start doing ASMR instead. Because I mean, it's really nice. It's a really good category to stream. But most of all, it kind of just ties up with everything that I do on stream, and it's a way for me to relax because I do a lot of streams where I just talk really fast and scream a lot and make a lot of jokes, and I don't leave a lot of dead air, which that's very exhausting, very draining. So ASMR is kind of like a way of saying you can calm down, you can chill, you can just do this, you comfort your viewers, and you can have a break too, which is good.
For sure, for sure.
I really need one.
Yeah, and also dropping a shout out for Vividly Vivi in the chat. Yep, as not surprising, last seen doing ASMR. She actually had a stream last night. She's Australian, so I don't get to see all her stuff, but I really like her content. She's fantastic. She's so encouraging that she always, tries to get others, whether it be, viewers or friends. She says, she wants to see more people, especially in the VTubing community, get involved with ASMR. So it's cool that you've been able to take that step and, even if you were a little bit insecure first time of, oh, do I deserve to put this tag on, that I know you did ultimately, and that you're really sort of starting that journey and adding that to the many things that you do as a streamer.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Ace of Club, for the follow. So
I think
overall,
doing...
Sorry, you go ahead.
You go. We're both saying the same thing. But yeah, no, I think just doing variety as a streamer, some people say it's really complicated, which, fair, it is complicated to grow when you're very small and you get started as a variety streamer because you never stay on the same game. So if some people come in because you're playing, I don't know, like Detroit Become Human, and then the next day you're doing just chatting and they're like, but I came here for your gameplay, and then, they leave. So it is really hard to grow as a variety streamer, but it's 10 times better than growing like on one specific game or one specific category, and then one day you feel like changing and everyone else is just like, nah, and then they all leave. So honestly, going variety was the best thing for me, because I'm not a big fan of stuff that doesn't change. I don't like when everything is always the same. I need changement. So I was like, nah, I can't just stream like one category forever. I don't want to be a just chatting streamer. I don't want to be an ASMR streamer. I don't want to be a gaming streamer. I want to be all of them together.
Yeah.
It's the best, honestly.
For sure. And you stream most days of the week nowadays, and you do a lot of different games, like you said. But I know that one of your all-time favorites is Undertale.
Yes, I love it so much. I started playing it, was it 1 year after it came out, I believe? I don't even remember. Was it 2014 that it came out? No idea. It's very old, but I don't know. I found it when I was in a very dark place, and it really helped me out to see like such a positive game, because I was so used to like the sad shit and the GTA kind of stuff where it's like, ooh, you do crimes and then you got guns and all that, and I was like, I need a game that makes me feel good about myself, that like makes me happy, makes me nearly like cry happy. And Undertale was just that. It was like the game that told me, yo, those are characters in a game, but you still care for them. Like that's what hit me so hard about this game.
Yeah.
And when I tried doing the genocide route, I couldn't.
Oh dear.
And I'm the one who has a knife. I'm the one who has a knife. It was just too painful for me. I mean, I was way younger than I am now, but like I was in such a bad place that I was like, nah, I know these are characters in a game, but I just can't do it now. Like, I probably could do it today. I would just feel bad, but at that point I was like, no, I literally cannot do it.
Yeah, I actually looked it up. The initial release was September 15th, 2015, so it's going on...
2015, okay.
Yeah, it's going on 6 years now, and definitely it is a game that has taken the industry and the world by storm, and it is admittedly one that I have not played to completion myself. I've seen bits and pieces, and I know the soundtrack forwards and backwards. Toby Fox wrote just a incredible soundtrack. I think that he is one of the best melody writers, honestly, in the industry. Of just there's a lot of great music out there, but he just has a way of writing melodies that stick in your head and that you can remember and you can hum.
they're the kind of music that like you know they wouldn't play at like you know, a club or a party, but like if you could put it on, you totally
Yeah,
would, because you would dance your ass off on it. They're so
absolutely.
nice. They're so nice. They're like just tiny beats, but you will just remember them forever. And they have
Hmm.
like kind of a retro vibe, but also a modern vibe. It's ugh, freaking amazing. I don't know how he did it, because I know he was like kind of alone doing that. He did all the music by himself. I don't
Yeah, that
think
was
he had
just
any help.
a full-on
And I think
passion
that's
project.
fucking amazing. Yeah, all the music sound different. There's none of them that you're like, oh, I've already heard that before, you know? And that's like the most complicated thing. It's just not doing the same thing twice, especially in music. Music has like its limitations. So I found that kind of incredible that the guy just like straight up did. Every song is unique. Like, you could talk to anyone and they would have a different favorite song.
Yeah.
That's the best part of it.
Abu ZZZZ, thank you for the follow. And on that note, what is your favorite song from the Undertale soundtrack? Are you able to pick one?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, they're different moods. I'd say my favorite battle song is Undyne's song in the Genocide route. Forgot the name. Is it? No, it's not Undyne the Undying. It's another name. Battle Against a True Hero. That one. That one is one of my favorites. If we mean emotionally speaking, though, just the song named Undertale Dot. Just that song that plays at the end. That's like my favorite of all time. It makes me ugly cry. That's like one of the only musics that I can just ugly cry to, but at the same time, it makes me feel happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, too much emotion.
I'm a sucker for Megalovania. I know it's a meme. I know it's, you know, an easy answer.
I
But
was so happy when I
still
saw
really
Sans become
good.
a meme. I was really
yeah.
happy when I saw Sans become a meme, because like now it's like a big meme where people just say it randomly, but I was like, yo, and Undertale's getting the credit. Like, I was so happy. And when I saw that, I don't know if you've seen the Smash video when Sans was announced, and then people just start jumping and hugging each other.
Yeah, well, because people wanted
That's the
Sans to be a proper
best.
fighter, and they only actually
Yeah.
got the Mii outfit. But hey, it's still something.
Oh, they freaked out like crazy though. They were like, yeah, the costume of Sans, and it felt so precious, you know? Like, even Undertale, some people say the fandom's toxic. Obviously, any big fandom has toxic people in it. That's just like a thing.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, it will be a thing. But honestly, it's just such a good community. It brought so many people together, and like, I've met a lot of people from it that changed my life. So honestly, top tier game. Would replay it 2,000 times if I could.
Yeah.
You need to play it.
Yeah,
You need to
it's
play
really
it.
high up on that list of games that I know I need to play.
Yes.
Someday soon, hopefully. You know, Toby Fox actually... Whoop! Uh-oh, we lost visual. Are you there? Oh, dear. Give us a moment, folks. We seem to have lost AyuuChii. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on here. Oh, we're back. We're back. Okay, cool.
I don't know why they asked me for the password again.
Ah,
They pushed me away. Rude.
well, we're back, so we're good. Yeah, I was just sort of saying, you know, Toby Fox has actually gone on to do some really cool other work with Nintendo. That he got to do a remix for the Megalovania track that was put in Super Smash Brothers, and
Yeah.
he also worked with the Pokemon Company in Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
He got to do the Battle Tower track, and it's super cool because I don't know if there's ever actually been an external composer from the, you know, the Pokemon Company itself that has worked directly on a Pokemon game. So it was really neat that he's been able to take the success of Undertale and bring it into all these other things and still have his signature style, because you listen to those tracks and you can tell, oh yeah, that's Toby Fox.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Also, I think he did one track in one of the games that I played recently, which I really liked, which is Omori. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Ooh, I've heard
It's
of
more of a
Omori,
niche
yeah.
game. Yeah. It's more of a niche game, but it's really, really, really good. And Toby Fox did a soundtrack in it, which is, it feels like pretty Toby Fox. You'd know that it's him the minute you start hearing about it. But yeah,
Also,
no,
I'm
he's
noticing
just
your
a
model's a little bit
Yeah.
pixelated now that you're
Now
back.
I'm pixelated, and I don't know why. Why do
Who
you
said?
hate me, website? Please.
Maybe turn the camera off and on again, see if that maybe tricks it into getting the right resolution.
Boop. Boop.
Grr, it was working earlier. Everyone saw it.
No, they hate me now. Why did you kick me out, website? Why did you kick me out?
Let me see
Now
if
I'm
I
a
can-
bunch of pixels.
Pixel art, IU.
I am pixel art. See, I come from Undertale. Look, let me.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, I'm good now. Yay!
Oh, are you?
Am
Seems
I?
about the same for me.
Oh no, it is the same. Never mind.
Ah. Looking in the video settings, seeing if there's anything maybe I can
Yeah.
toggle on my end.
Are you Undertale? I am from Undertale. I'm Frisk. I'm so pixelated.
Do you have a favorite
I'm a
character in
boss fight.
Undertale while we're looking to fix all this?
Oh boy. I love all of them differently. They all just have so different vibes. But I think Undyne probably takes one. Like, she's just such a strong fish woman. Like, and she's so funny. I love her. I think Undyne might be my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Star safety pocket. Yes, I need pocket IU. I'm being pixelated. I'm being censored from from Twitch.
Actually, are you able to bring up
Twitch
Pocket IU? Because Pocket IU is absolutely precious.
I can, yes.
Everybody, please welcome to Vtuber Talk, Pocket IU.
She's so adorable, isn't she?
Yes, and still
Now I'm
pixelated,
pixel art,
sadly.
yeah. Pixel art.
Maybe, I'm not sure if there are any settings on your end that might be able to get this. This is really weird, because it
have
was
no idea.
working
Yeah,
before.
nothing changed. No, I don't know. Hello, it's me, Pocket IU. She's so cute. Now I am a true pixel art RPG character.
Yes, just
Well-
running and jumping over the buildings in the
I will
background.
become just one pixel. Just
Ah,
one pixel.
There you go. Yeah, you can't tell you're pixelated if you're
Just
too
one
small to see in the first place. Oh, wait a minute. Now you're clean. Now you're clear.
Wait. What?
Yeah, you're looking clear again now.
Does that matter? Did that change anything?
You seem
Huh?
fine now. I guess change back to your other model. Maybe the camera readjusted itself.
That's funny. That's
Adventures with OBS Ninja and
funny.
Electron Capture.
We love to see it. Am I clear? Am I good?
Yeah, looking good to me again. No
Okay,
idea what
that's-
happened there.
Really odd. Really, really odd. Thank you, Twitch, for censoring me for a few seconds. I was not about to say anything weird, but thank you.
But anyways, we are back. So
Back
for
on board.
Undertale, yeah, before we got all sidetracked by all of that, when was the last time you actually played Undertale? Because I'm trying to think. I don't think I've seen you play it on stream.
No, because actually I was thinking about it, but then I told myself, is it really worth it to play it if I've already seen every scene of it? Like, because I know the game by heart, like everything I know. So I was like, is it really worth it to play a game where like nothing is surprising to me and I'm just playing it because, you know, just because I like it, but not because, you know, nothing's happening basically, because I wouldn't scream, I wouldn't, you know, cry, because maybe I would cry actually, but you know, I wouldn't like jump because of something because I know it's gonna happen. So I was like, I don't know if I do want to play it again, but at the same time, my little head is telling me to do the genocide route in full because that's the only thing I've never done in full.
Oh, there you go. And hey, people love watching
I was
genocide
thinking-
route runs.
I was thinking of doing that, maybe, because that would break my heart. That would absolutely break my heart, and I know that. The musics are so goddamn depressing and scary and sad. Like, it's the best ever, but at the same time, I'm gonna feel like shit.
Pain.
But maybe I'll do it. But before you need to play it, because then it will spoil it, and that's bad.
Yes. And Crocky in the chat has actually mentioned one of your other favorite games, Doki Doki Literature Club.
Ah. Actually, what's funny, we played it together after we talked on Thursday. When I left you, I actually went to play DDLC with Kroko because he had never played it before.
Oh, fantastic.
Let's just say he didn't have a good night's sleep.
Very few people would after their first playthrough of that
God,
game.
No, I thought it was, you know, when he started up the game again, I was like, haha, he's gonna suffer so much. I ended up suffering too. He was not alone in that. Like, that game just, I didn't even remember like the level at what point it was like so unsettling to me. because I'm a very not scareable person, you know what I mean? Like I played a lot of horror games and like stuff just doesn't really get to me anymore. Like jump scare, blood, murderers, doctors, needles, stuff like that. I'm just not really scared of, like clowns. All of the basic stuff I'm not really scared of, but DDLC just knew exactly where to like poke at so that I felt unsettled. Not really scared, but just unsettled. I was like, oh god, what am I looking at? What is this? I want to quit this game.
Mm.
And Kroko felt the same. He was extremely uncomfortable. It was really funny because it was like 3 a.m. in the morning when we finished.
Oh no.
Yeah. We were like, okay, it's dark in my room. I hope nobody's behind me. I'll go to bed. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully you're still alive.
Just
Bye.
Monica. Just Monica.
She's my best girl. I love Monica. Monica's so cute. I know she did bad stuff, but like, she's the most developed girl out of all of them. I hate Yuri though. Hate Yuri. Yuri's the worst. If there is Yuri fangirls or fanboys in the chat, no. Just no. No Yuri, only Monica.
Only Monica.
Only Monica. She's so cute.
She does have very good design, and yeah, just
Yeah.
I don't want to do too many spoilers for anybody who hasn't played, but yeah.
Oh, did you also notice that like she's the only one that has an A name? Like you have Yuri, Sayori, Natsuki, and then there's Monica. She's the only one that doesn't
I never
end with an E.
realized that.
Yeah. And also she's the only one that looks at you straightforward instead of third view. Like all of the other girls are like this, and she's the only one that stares at you like this.
Yeah.
There's so
Holy
many
cow.
like so little details that nobody notices, but they're so important when you realize what's going on. Like she has different stockings, different color of shoes, and like you wouldn't see that in the game because obviously they don't show it. But that's like some stuff that just tells you
Just
that
the
there's something
details
wrong
there.
with her. Yeah.
Yeah, that just, or even if
I
not
love
that something's
that.
wrong, that something's
Love
different,
it.
that she is special, that she is
Mhm.
not like the others.
Exactly. It's such a good, like, oh my god, such a good game. I love details like that because you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
notice them, but when you notice them, you're like,
Yeah, things,
oh my god.
just whether it be games or movies or
Exactly.
series, that when you can
Mhm.
go back after experiencing it the first time and pick up on details and be like, oh,
Oh my god,
I didn't notice
yes.
that the first time around. That's
Omori
always,
is that kind of game as well. Omori is like a big game where like you will play the first part and be like kind of confused, play the second part, cry forever, then replay it, and then the first part is like, that's what it meant. It's
mm,
so good. I love games like these. I also love like theories in general, and those kinds of games have tons of theories on them. The DLC is like a niche for theories. There's so many of them. I've spent like nights just looking at theories about it. It's so good. It's just, it blows my mind that like someone made a game and thought like, yeah, we're gonna put like a bunch of files, and those files are gonna transfer to a different type of code, and then there's
Yeah,
a
the
QR
fact
code
that-
that people have to scan and all that.
that they
Like,
break the
wow.
fourth wall in a way
Yeah.
of just, it's almost, what's the term? Augmented reality. The fact that you
Yeah.
actually have to interact. You know, this is a slight spoiler. We won't say exactly how, but
Yeah.
the fact that there are points in the game where you need to interact with actual files in
That freaked
just,
me out when I played
Yeah.
it first. I was like, what the fuck? Like when there's certain pictures that pop up, and like the first picture that pops up when the game starts going kind of crazy
glitchy.
shit. Yeah. That one picture, I was like, what? Huh? How did they do that? How? Like I was really, really scared. And I think the second time I played it, I don't know if have you played it actually? Or
That's
do you
not.
just know like the big spoilers?
I know the basics of it. I've watched some playthroughs of it. I haven't played it through myself.
Okay, little spoiler in case some people don't want to hear about it. Even like the game's pretty old and it's free. Go play it, please. Be traumatized. But I think the second time I played it, I was recording, and at the end, when you're with Monica, if you're recording, she knows that you're recording, and she does a jump scare to you. I was so not ready for that. I was like, wait.
Like,
How
that
do you
level
know?
of
How do you know?
programming and forethought, just from the writer's perspective, is so cool.
Exactly. It's so good. I don't know how they did it. There's another game that I really liked called One Shot. Not sure if you heard about it. It's
I
really
don't know
small. It's
that
a
one.
really tiny game. Yeah, it's a game that's like a cute RPG, but it really wants you to interact with your PC, including like they change your background at some point. Another point you have to make like a puzzle with the windowed game and your PC. Like it's crazy. Like you have to take files from your PC and then put them in the game, and it's like it's like PNGs, but the character actually gets the picture in their hands.
Mm,
It's insane. It's such a good game too. Too
that's
many good
cool.
games.
That's really cool.
Games that play with PCs are the best, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I'm mostly a console gamer, but I'm trying to get into more PC games because I know that there's a lot of stuff on PC that you can get just via Steam or other sources that are experiences you simply can't get on console.
Yeah. Well, actually, DDLC just released on console. But,
Yeah, because they actually just had a Switch release, I think.
One.
Yeah.
They put DDLC Plus. I was a little disappointed with that because they added side stories, and I was kind of expecting creepy shit to happen, but it's mostly cute stuff.
Yeah.
Or sad stuff. It's very sad, though. It is very, very sad. But nothing creepy happens. It's just like getting more deep into the lives of the characters, how they think, what's happening with them, and all that. There is a little creepy part that I won't talk about because like it's brandly new, so some people probably don't want to hear about it. But it's not in the game itself. It's just like a little tiny hint, and I think it's a hint at a new game. People have been talking about it a lot, that they're gonna release a new game, so I'm waiting for that as well because
it's certainly been successful
I need a new
enough.
game from them. Yes, we need a new game.
Yeah. So speaking of new things and that sort of just creation, I know that you're really into animation.
Yes, very, very. It's a big passion of mine. I've just recently discovered it too. I mean, I've always been kind of an art person, like from the day I was, a little kid. I just wanted to play with kind of everything. I did like polymer clay, drawing, just any kind of art that a little kid could do, chalk on the floor, stuff like that. And I never, I was like, I told my teachers when I was a kid, like, oh, I want to be a painter. I wasn't really into paint. I just thought it was cool to do art. And they told me, oh, you're not going to get really far with that. So as I grew up, I kind of was sad, and I kind of told myself, you can't make art a career. And then when I grew up and I started realizing that there is actually schools that teach you how to like do like Pixar movies or like Disney movies or stuff like that and work as an animator, I was like, that's a job, you can get paid for that. And then I just immediately got into it. So I'd say the past like 3 years, I've just been so invested into animation. Now I don't watch the movies the same way. Like when I was a little younger, I watched Pixar movies for like, the fun. I was like, ooh, story, cute, little, stuff happening. And now I'm just like, ooh, that angle, oh my god, the light is so pretty, like that movement, it changes everything. It's so good to watch movies again when you have that kind of point of view, honestly. But yeah, I'm really excited because I'm going to animation school and, well, technically I don't have a date yet, but about 2 months. So I'm really, really, really excited. It's going to be so fun.
That's awesome. Do you remember, was there like a particular movie you were watching or just maybe some animation sequence that you were watching and it sort of had that moment for you where you said, I'd want to do that?
I want to do that, yeah. Oh boy. Well, now every movie kind of has that because I'm so into it, but I think one of the first movies where I just like kind of my eyes went boom when I viewed it again. I think it was Ratatouille, honestly. When I viewed Ratatouille again and I saw like the Paris shot with all the lights, I was like, that's gorgeous. Oh my god, why did I not realize it before? And I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. I want to like show emotion through like, yeah, just drawings or like animation, whatever part I can do. I want to contribute to something like this, something that can be seen on cinema. Doesn't even have to be like a fully animated movie. It can be like, a movie with real life people, but animation is involved. Storyboarding is necessary for every single movie, including non-animated ones. So I was like, yeah, I just want to do that kind of stuff. This is amazing. And now, like, I watched Coco not a long time ago, and like the lights in that movie, those lights made me go, oh my god, I want to do this, please.
I remember seeing a featurette around the time of that movie's release and them talking about how many thousands of individual light sources they had in that scene. Because I think I know the one you're talking about, that when the main character first ventures into the spirit world, and there's these floating lights just all around. They have this big
There's like
shot.
some blue, some orange, some pink, and it's like, oh my god, it feels like a sunset, but like dispersed everywhere, and I think it's amazing. It's just, I'm so obsessed with like the thought of how they do this. Like, what was the thought process behind everything? Like, why this camera angle? Why this expression? Why do the characters look like this? Why this dialogue, etc.? And Disney Plus actually released like a full-on documentary about Pixar and explaining like each job that you can do at Pixar. So you have like the animators, the people who do the lights, the storyboard, the character designers, the script writers, like everything, like every single job you could think of in the animation industry, and it's so goddamn interesting. And when I watch that, it's kind of like my boost reminder of that's what you want to do. Like if I feel demotivated, if I'm like, oh, I'm not progressing enough, I'm not improving as fast as I would want to, maybe this is not for me. I watch that documentary and I'm like, I
So
have
your reminder of,
sparkles in my eyes.
oh yeah, yes
Exactly,
I do.
sparkles.
That's
It's
so
amazing.
awesome.
I love it so much. Yeah.
Also, thank you, Hello Moto, for the follow. So, as you mentioned, there's a lot of different disciplines in animation, that it's not just one person doing the full job. There's, like you said, there's lighting, there's concept art, there's storyboarding. Do you have a particular discipline that you're looking into, or are you sort of open-minded right now and you figure that throughout your time at animation school you will discover which particular niche you want in animation?
Kind of both, honestly. I am very, very, very attracted to character design and storyboarding. So I'm kind of just waiting to go to school, and then maybe there's like a subject that I think I would like that probably is gonna pop out more, and maybe I'm gonna realize some stuff that I would have liked is not really my thing. But honestly, character design has always been a big thing. Like even for my own character that you see now, every single piece of her is very, very inspired by character design rules, so that you can recognize her even if her silhouette is like blacked out, like if you can't see anything. Like I just love thinking about a character and saying, okay, you have to design her clothing so that people understand right away what kind of person she is. Like she shouldn't say anything, she shouldn't have any type of expression, just pieces and bits that just show what kind of person it is, and I love that. I think it's so interesting. It's so good.
Croco, thank you for the follow. So it's cool that you're approaching it with that open-mindedness. That I think that's really good and really healthy. That you have ideas of, okay, I think these are the different areas, but that you're still saying it's okay if somewhere along the line that maybe there's a particular class or project that inspires you, and that you're open to looking in different directions. But like we said, there's so many different things within animation, and
so many.
But still, just knowing that you want to do animation is already focusing a good bit, and it's cool that you've been able to find something that is so inspirational and so motivating for you.
I'm really happy I was able to, because I mean, I kind of went through every stage of like wanting jobs. You know, when you're a kid, you kind of go through a bunch of jobs. You're like, I want to be a singer, I want to be a baker, I want to be an actress, and then you're like, oh, becoming an actress is not as easy as I thought it would be.
Oh, I have absolutely been through all of that. I remember some of my first, some of the first things I wanted to do was the classics of baseball player, astronaut. The concept of being an actor didn't come up till much later, but by then I already sort of knew, okay, it's super difficult. But I think for me, finding what I wanted to do was sort of a process of elimination, of figuring out, okay, I know I don't want to be a teacher. I could never be a teacher. I know I don't want to do anything that is like physical labor based. I don't think I could be a contractor of that sort. I don't want to do, you know, real estate or anything. And then sort of when I knew where I wanted to go to school, the place I went to school had a lot of different majors. So I sort of looked at the list and just started crossing off things and figuring out from there, all right, what is left? And then taking that small list of what was left that I knew at the very least that it wasn't something I didn't want to do, and figuring out from that, okay, what do these have in common? What is it that makes me say that I'm even open to it in the first place, and sort of reverse engineering my own thought process to figure out what it is that I want to do.
Exactly. No, it does take a long time. I feel like we're kind of in a world where people kind of pressure you to know exactly what you want to do very early on, and it's just not realistic. Like I have noticed when I looked at my past, jobs that they all have something to do with art. Like
Hmm.
actor, you are kind of like, you're doing art. You're basically inside of a movie. You're doing cinema. Baker, you're cooking, which is a form of art to me. I wanted to be a stylist at some point. Fashion stuff that also is art. It's just
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
noticed that common ground of it's art. I just wanted to ask myself questions like, would I do this as a hobby or do I want to do this for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Because that
Yeah.
is the big question you need to ask yourself. Like, is this something I could do every single day? Because like baking is cool. I do love baking. Could I bake every single day and find new ideas all the time? Not really. But when it comes to telling stories, God, I'm like a freaking open book. I'd have ideas endlessly. You will never get rid of them. There's too many. So yeah, I just like had that thought process and I was like, okay, what do I love in this? Why does animation make me like, wow, oh my god. So I was just like, yeah, I love telling stories. I love, making art, making a piece of art, like a cinema piece of art. I could even become a character design and end up not working in animation and maybe working in something else, like designing clothing, for example. Um, but for like the thing I'm most interested in is mostly working on movies, obviously.
Mm.
Um, I would want to become freelance though, and like just work with companies here and there, and then when I'm done with them, the contract is done, and I can just work with other people.
Mm.
But I know it's a very, very unstable position, so I'm probably gonna start slowly, go into like more safe jobs, and then if I see that freelance is like popping off, I'm gonna be like, yay, I can do this for a living now, which it sounds crazy, but I do want to keep streaming on the side though. I kind of want to do what I want to do is kind of like art, and then streaming on the side, just like half and half. But I know that the art will be my full-time job, but I don't want to get rid of streaming, honestly. It's so fun. It's really, really fun. So I want to keep it as a side job, probably for
Mm.
many, many more years to come.
Do you have any films that you grew up with that you look back on now? Obviously, you mentioned a couple of Pixar ones, but
Mhm.
are there any others that you look back on and say, oh man, I'd love to do maybe like a remake of
Yeah.
this, or I see that shot and that's something that I really like. I'd want to use these techniques somewhere that, do
hmm
you have any particular inspirations?
Not particular, but I've done so many researches on every single movie. Like, I'm a big fan of behind the scenes. I now
Mm.
understand why they put behind the scenes in like DVDs and stuff like that because I'm obsessed with them. I love seeing how everything comes together. I had done like some research about Frozen 2 because the animation in Frozen 2 is absolutely gorgeous. So I was like, okay, what was the like? How did it all happen? And I found like really interesting stuff that I didn't even think of when thinking about animation. It was like people who had to go into like actual frozen places to see like how ice works, how waves work when it's cold, etc. It's like you know like studying real life in order to recreate it but differently. And I think that's like
Yeah,
amazing. It's
and
so
it's
so
and it's
amazing.
cool
Yeah.
that studios are starting to invest in stuff like that. That it's not just
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna make what we think looks good,
Mhm.
but really actually going into it because that
Mhm.
on an unconscious level makes movies easier to watch because even if you
Exactly.
don't consciously know how water moves, I couldn't describe, oh, this is how a wave looks if you asked me.
Exactly.
But it's the type of
Yeah.
thing that when you watch animation, if it's egregious that the water is flowing unnaturally, something in your brain will just sort of say,
Yeah.
that doesn't look right.
Yeah, it does not. Yeah, but that the big thing too is that Pixar movies and Disney movies are kind of like they always have something fantastic about them. They're never 100% real, but
Yeah.
they have to keep the balance between realistic and fantastic. They can't be just
Mm-hmm.
100% unrealistic because then people will watch it and be like, what is that? Like that just looks weird. Like Ratatouille, for example. Take Ratatouille. It's like a rat that can cook by using someone's hair. It sounds really ridiculous, you know what I mean? But the setup and the way that it's written just makes you think like, oh yeah, that's normal.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty okay. There's a rat that
it's
that
logical
talks.
steps of fantasy of,
Exactly.
okay, I know this isn't real, but this, at least on
hmm
some crazy level, makes sense. And
Exactly.
one of the rules that you're going to have to adhere to more, stringently is stuff like physics. So that's where the stuff with waves
Yeah.
and the shape of ice comes in, of being able to find things that look natural, that it isn't necessarily story mechanics, but making
Yeah.
sure that the world that you have this magic in still has the reality that it's grounded in.
So you can
I
relate to
suppose.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's really important even for like little kids that they're just like they feel transported by the story obviously, but they're still like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, that character kind of sounds like someone I would know in real life, or like, oh yeah, that place kind of looks like a real thing.
Yeah, the
For example,
relatability.
there's like this new movie called Luca, which I want to watch really soon. It's a Pixar movie that's really like cute, really, which I think we need a movie that's like more happy and not just straight up dramatic. Basically, in the Pixar documentary, they showed off the character design that was actually sent to Italy to study how people in Italy work. Just like straight up sketching people and their mannerism, how the food is, how the buildings look, and I think that's so interesting.
That's neat.
You're sent on a trip to
They talk about
study how
method
life is.
acting where
Yeah.
people try and get into the head of the roles that they're playing, and this is method animating.
I love that kind of stuff. I've seen like so many videos of like people recording themselves doing the expressions of the character to really get into it, because in animation stuff has to be kind of exaggerated, so usually you have to do like way more painful face movements and all that. That's why I kind of wanted to become an actress at some point, because I love putting myself into a character that I don't necessarily like you know it, but it's not like a real person, and you're just like, okay, I gotta act like this, you know what I mean? But like when I saw that acting was like kind of a hard career to get in, I thought that was like, it is a good alternative to it, because you're still kind of an actor technically when you're working in animation, because you have to understand what the character is, how it works, how it acts, how it feels, and I don't know, I find that so fascinating to like bring stuff alive by just like artwork, like stuff that once was a thought and then it becomes a reality. I think that's just like so amazing. I have no words to describe it. I could talk about it for hours because it's like, it's so good.
So if a studio said, we're going to do a movie that will animate a story that has never been animated before, so it could be a book that has never been animated before, it could be a live action movie that has never been animated before, and if it's a live action movie, we're going to take the exact script and setup and everything from the original movie, but it's going to be animated, and you get to work on it, and you get to choose which project would you like to see animated to work on.
Oh boy, that is so complicated to answer, because I feel like most of the stuff that I really like works in its own like medium, you know what I mean? Like Undertale works as a video game. I don't think it would work as a book. I don't think it would work as a movie.
Yeah.
Omori, same. The DLC, same. Wouldn't feel the same.
Games in particular are always going to be hard to adapt.
Yeah.
So I guess
So
maybe I'll
hard.
narrow the question down. If you could choose a live action movie to animate.
Oh boy, that's maybe a lot, because let's see. Honestly, a lot of stuff has a lot of potential. Like even stuff like Harry Potter and like Avengers, like the big stuff, has a lot of potential to be animated. I feel like stuff like Lord of the Rings. I'm not a big fan of it. I gotta be honest, was not a big fan of it. I feel like that kind of stuff would not work as animation, because it's just like it's supposed to be very realistic, like to the point where I think animation would not be able to show that side, that
it would sort of
really
detract from it. Yeah
it's supposed to show like war, like evil and good, fighting together. And even if I was not a big fan of it, it's because I watched it in the wrong time. It's a kind of movie that if you watched it in the 2000s when it came out, it was like, wow, that's amazing. But now I've seen so many different stuff that just watching the classic evil versus good, I was like, not vibing with it. But maybe if I watched it 20 years ago, I would have liked it very much. So yeah, no, I don't really think there's like a live action movie that I would see animated. Because I mean, I've seen the opposite be done terribly. One of my favorite series, Winx, when I was a kid, I still like it very much because it's very childish. It's like fairies and stuff like that, very cute stuff. They did a Netflix remake, live action.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's supposed to be more like a teenager kind of show, which is like very dramatic, very depressing and stuff like that, very dark. And I was like, yeah, but like, don't you think adults want something cute too sometimes? Like it doesn't, just because we're adults now doesn't mean we grew out of the cute place. You know, we still watch cartoons. Everyone still watches cartoons. They're really cool. We just don't
Yeah.
really have the time for it. But if we did, we would watch cartoons a lot because they're good. They're just good.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, no, I don't think I would see any movie be animated specifically because I don't know how it would look like. I don't really feel like it needs it. I'm more of a person who likes to create new stuff rather than pick something that was already done and then just redo it in another medium. I think just creating stories is like my thing. It's not really just animating previous ideas, it's just like coming up with the ideas. Like, okay, what are we gonna do with this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're Oceans, thank you for the follow. Okay, so if you don't want to adapt something that's live action, I can totally understand that everything you said made perfect sense. In that case, do you have a vision or a type of story that is either your own or, one that you've heard that you'd like to animate? I guess I'm trying to figure out, if there was a dream project for you, what would it be?
Okay. Oh, that's really complicated because I just love so many different kinds of stuff, and that's why I would like to work in the animation industry, is because each project is kind of like a new life. It's like a new era. You know, you work on Italian movies, you gotta learn about Italian stuff. Boom, you start working on Frozen, now you gotta learn about how ice works and like this kingdom thing that doesn't exist in real life. It's so many different things. I think I would be more into deep psychological movies, stuff that really, stuff that, appeals to kids, but still kind of, when you watch it as an adult, you're like, oh, that's what it means, you know what I mean? I'm really, really into psychological things and symbolism, so I would probably, have a project about that. Something that spreads awareness, possibly, maybe about mental illness. I think that's the kind of stuff I would love to focus on, just to, let people know about it and know that it's not that scary, etc. Break stereotypes. That would be a big thing of mine. Just in general, spread happiness. You know what I mean? Just no matter what it is, whether it be like representing LGBTQ plus people or, mentally ill people, disabled people, stuff like that. Just, giving a voice to everybody. I think that's what I would do with my projects if I was a director. I would just say, okay, we need to make movies that have good story, but also like represent more people that deserve to be represented. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would.
As always, spreading positivity, possibly with a knife.
Exactly. I just want people like to watch my movies and then feel things, but I think I would feel super bad to have bad endings. Like, people always criticize people who do good endings at the end, but I feel like it's a mental thing. You feel so bad doing a bad ending because you're like, those people did not deserve it. Unless they're the villain, and then usually they get a bad ending because, they're the villain, so you don't really care about them. But once it's someone you are attached to, giving a bad ending it's rough, man. You don't want to see them suffer. So, like, I understand. People do want, like, a movie that just ends badly, but at the same time, it's so satisfying to see people go through an adventure and, like, bad stuff, be sad, have crying moments, and then they're happy again, like, it feels good. So I understand why directors don't do bad endings more. It's good for the heart to see them happy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. People like to be happy, generally speaking, and
exactly. And some people seem to not want happiness, and no, we need more of that. We need more movies that are just simply cute as fuck and spread love. I want more of that. More movies that just are positive as fuck.
Do you have any particular favorite movies, or ones that just, you can watch and it always makes you happy?
Oh boy, always happy. Honestly, if I mentioned my favorite movie, it would be very funny because it's like the opposite of something happy. It's just because production speaking and like an animation speaking, it's so beautiful. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's Perfect Blue. It's a very, very deep psychological movie, though.
I know
not happy at
of
all.
it. I have not seen it.
Yeah,
but
it's not
but I've
happy
heard of
at
it.
all. But no, if I want something happy, honestly, the entire collection of Pixar movies, to be honest. I like Pixar more than Disney, I'll be honest. I think their movies are just fucking amazing. But yeah, no, I would watch Cars, I would watch Toy Story, like any movie that I've watched as a kid, because I know it ends well. I'm still very attached to the characters and like scared for them and all. But like, I know it will end in a good way, and that's what makes my little heart warm. Like, I love seeing like friends get together and be happy or stuff like that. It's cheesy as fuck, but it makes you so like feel so good inside, man.
For
So
sure,
good.
for sure.
Mm.
Gosh, I remember the first time I saw Toy Story 3. Toy Story
Yeah.
3 came out actually the summer after I graduated from high school. So I
Oh,
had a
I
bunch of
see.
friends, and we all went to the midnight premiere of the show, and we wore our mortarboards, our graduation caps, and brought our favorite
Oh,
childhood toy with us. And
that's
it
so
was super
cute.
special. And I remember, like, I there. Okay, Toy Story 3 has been out for 10ish years now, so spoiler warning, but it's been out for long enough.
Not really spoiler
When they're
warning.
about to go into that just the inferno that
Mhm.
they all hold hands and sort of accept death for a
Yes.
moment,
Oh
I
my God.
was
Yes.
like,
That's so
for a moment,
sad.
for a brief moment, I forgot that I was watching a Pixar movie, and I was like,
I
the main characters might
swear.
actually die. I forgot there's no way
Exactly.
they can do this in a Pixar movie, but for a moment I forgot and was like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, they're
It's
about
because
to
the
die. It's
story
about to
was
be a bad
so
end.
good. The story was so good, you got transported in it, and you forgot that like it
Ugh.
was supposed to be like quote unquote a kids movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the fact that they make you scared. Even in the documentary, I remember there was a girl who said, "I love watching Toy Story, and even though I know exactly how it's gonna end, I'm still scared that the toys are gonna get caught one day." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
she knows exactly that's not gonna happen, but she's still scared because it's so good. It
Mhm.
just those moments, even in Coco, it's like it's a very very deep movie. When you're a kid, you don't think much of it, but it's literally a movie about death, which
Yeah.
kind of fucking sad to be honest. And like when I watched it with my Discord about 3 weeks ago, it was like the ending when you see the dead people holding hands and just being together as a family. It's like so sad, but at the same time you can't stop
Yeah, it's
smiling
very
because you're
very
like it's so
powerful.
cute. But yeah, if you watch it as a kid, you won't think much of it, and then when you're an adult, you're like, that's horrible.
Yeah. I think the first time I ever cried in a movie theater
Mm.
was Monsters Inc. when Sully is forced to
Yes.
say goodbye to Boo.
Oh my
I
god.
must have been I don't remember how old I was. I remember must have been like
Mm.
middle school at that point,
Yeah.
but that was the
Mm.
first time I ever cried in a movie theater because it was just heartrending
So, oh
to
my god.
see Sully have to, hug Boo goodbye and send her
Oh
through the
no.
door. And
I
then the ending when they get
swear.
back together. Oh, it was so good.
The music is so good. The way that they walk slowly, the expressions that they do. It's just
Mm-hmm.
ah. I think I have 100% cried more often on animated movies than real life movies. Like no joke. I
Yeah,
think I've
probably.
cried like once or twice on movies that contain real people, and that's it. When it comes to animated movies, I don't think there is a single one where tears did not come at least a little bit. Like at least a tiny bit. There's movies that made me ugly cry more than others, but there's always like every single animated movie has like one part where I'm like, oh boy, the tears are coming. Oh no, waterfall in my eyes. Be careful.
Yep, yep. Ceiling's
Like
leaking.
they're so good. I feel like it's just animation represents emotions way better than real life people could sometimes. You know what I mean? The fact that you can exaggerate anything, you can put the camera anywhere you want, you can make any setup possible.
Mm-hmm.
Any all of that together makes it so. You know it's not real, but at the same time you can't help but feel like it is. Like what you said with the Toy Story thingy. Like, boy, I cry all the time when I go watch animated movies in theaters because they're so powerful. They're so good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes there's more care put into them than like real life movies because I just feel too much stuff when I watch those. And like the whole stereotype of animated movies are for kids, slowly it's breaking away. People are starting to like call it out and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
but like who made those movies? Do you think it's a kid? No.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes apparently from the documentary that I watched. Every single movie, they ask the directors to like look into bad stuff that happened in their life. You know what I mean? Like, just look into your life and think about the bad shit. And that's like super creepy, super sad. Think about the bad stuff in your life and make a movie about it. Like, I haven't watched that one, but I really plan to. I think it's Onward, the movie about the two brothers that are
Oh yeah.
ghosting and don't have a father. That was inspired by the director's life, who didn't have a father and only had like videotapes of him. And I
Holy
thought that
cow.
was so interesting. Yeah, but it's so scary because the director had to ask himself, okay, what am I afraid of? What is my life? Is there something that I don't like thinking about that I have to think about now? And like it's such a scary process. It's not just for kids because like people have to rewatch them. So many people give the movie one chance and then they're like, oh, I grew up, I'm not a kid anymore. But like every single person I've seen rewatch Ratatouille still cries like an ugly baby. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Totally. It's like, it's so good. The messages are so good. Like, even if it's cheesy, like, oh my god, anyone can be a cook. It's like, maybe it made a kid's day or an adult's day that thought, oh shit, I'm such a bad cook. You know, maybe I should give up. And then they saw this movie and they were like,
Anyone
oh,
can cook.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it brings hope back into people. And the fact that you associated the movie Toy Story 3 with a memory of of your life, I think it's one of the biggest things for animators. It's the fact that you create memories that you can associate with the movies themselves. And it's like you remember it because of that. Like, it brought something to you, you know? If it wasn't Toy Story, maybe you wouldn't have brought your toys together, you know? Maybe you wouldn't have cried because it wasn't that movie specifically, but that movie made you feel that way and you remember it like 10 years later, or even more, you know what I mean? So it's like this thing for me with animated movies. It's like they can be childish, they can be super goddamn adult, but in general they just bring people together and make so many memories. They're amazing. I'm in love with animated movies.
So Pixar obviously mostly does 3D animation, but there's also 2D and sort of combinations. Do you, I suppose, have an interest more in 3D since Pixar is a really big part of your animated inspiration?
I mean, I've watched a couple Ghibli movies, but I'll be honest, it's complicated to watch Ghibli movies for the story and not for how beautiful it is, visually speaking, when you're an adult, because the stories, they are very, very, for example, like oh fuck, I forgot the Spirited Away, for example. It's not the same name at all in French, so I got a little confused. I watched that one and I was like, the story's kind of weird. It's very fantastical, but the fucking art is gorgeous. Like, the animation's beautiful, the background's beautiful, everything's beautiful, but I was so much more into the artistic thing rather than the story. And I think it's because I didn't watch it as a kid. Maybe if I watched it when I was a little younger, I would have felt different. But yeah, no, I was just so much more into that. I know that one of my favorite animated shows actually is kind of half 2D, half 3D. It's called Land of the Lustrous.
Oh, I know that one. I know that one.
So
Ooh,
much.
wow.
They were going into full 2D before production started. They thought that they were gonna do 2D, and then they just kind of started like mixing both of them. And I think it was such a good idea. Like, honestly, the 3D look of the gems would have never looked this good in 2D.
It wouldn't have translated as well. Oh.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, people were so scared when they heard it was a 3D movie because obviously we've had like Berserk, which was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, a lot of people point to Land of the Lustrous as sort of one of the first 3D anime that just nailed it.
That was actually good.
Even now, like,
movie.
that it's no longer the only one that a lot of people will point to and say it's done 3D in anime well, but it's still held up there as a standard of just, you know, it did it so well. And gosh, I wish that one had a second season because it ended on a cliffhanger.
Yes,
I'm so upset that.
Yeah, I have a problem. Like, I'm such a big animated fan that like manga is so hard for me to go through because sometimes I'm like, I need to close this because first of all, it's not the same, but also at the same time I'm like, I don't want to know the end or like the next part because I really want to see it first try animated.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That is a big thing for me.
I want to feel the things animated.
Yes.
And the problem is when they don't come out with the goddamn second season. Like, you see Star Wars getting 8 movies, and then Land of the Lustrous doesn't get a second season.
Can't get its second season.
Get me a second season already. Although it's so painful. Like, you see some shows that you've never enjoyed get second seasons, and then the ones you're looking out the most, you're like, For example, like The Promised Neverland, I was really excited for season 2, and then they skipped a whole bunch of parts.
And then they
that
dropped
were very important.
the ball. Yeah.
It was a mess, man. If only they followed the goddamn manga. Like, the first season was absolutely amazing. It was so good, such a good transcription of like the manga.
Yeah.
But like the second one, man, why did they skip so many important parts? It made me feel so sad because I was so excited for it. So at the same time, I'm like, I do want a second season of Land of the Lustrous, but if they want to take their time to make it good, then I
Yeah.
will wait, because I don't want it to be ruined.
Yep. Because the studio that did Land of the Lustrous, Studio Orange, has actually gone on. They've still done a lot of other stuff. They actually are the company that did Beastars.
Yeah, Beastars.
So they've still been
it was like
doing
the
some really good
second-
3D stuff. And
It was like the
yeah.
second anime where people were like, "Oh yeah, it's 2D, the 3D, but it doesn't look too bad." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like with Berserk and all that stuff coming up, like it was like CGI is just shit. People just thought CGI is bad. And then Land of the Lustrous and later Beastars came up, and people were like, "Ah." I mean,
But it
if
can
you
be
do
good.
it well,
It just needs to be done
Yeah.
with care.
Exactly, you need to do it very, very well, which it is complicated, but like, God, the feeling of the gems breaking in the
Yeah.
fucking anime, it's so powerful. You can feel them. Sometimes I
Yeah,
just
and
want
the
to like
soundtrack in
reach
that
my
one,
computer
ugh.
and grab them. Yes, the soundtracks are so good as well. It's like 12 episodes. Like y'all, if you haven't watched 11 of the
Yeah, if you want to just
go watch
spend a good
it.
afternoon.
So short.
Mhm.
So short. And at the end, it's so good. Like, it's one of those movies, those animated series. I'm a big fan of 12 episodes animes. Because
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a short attention span, so I'm a big, not a big fan of stuff like, I really want to get into Attack on Titan, but the fact that there's 4 seasons.
Yeah, and Attack on Titan isn't
I
even
have a
that
hard
long, because Attack on Titan's like 75,
Yeah.
but it's not,
Yeah, and then
One
there's
Piece, which
Naruto
is,
in One Piece.
yeah, it's not quite a absurd
awful.
run on shonen, but yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but like 12 episode stuff, like some of my favorite animes are Devilman Crybaby, The Promised Neverland season 1, only season 1. I love Kuzuno Honkai as well, very dark romance anime. Stuff like that. Always the 12 episodes because it's so short, you can like eat it in one day. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like if it's done well, then 12 episodes is more than fine. You know what I mean? Like Madoka Magica did it super well.
We'll
All
want
those
to talk about
animes-
animation in Madoka, just
Yeah.
the sort of stop motion, almost, like
It's so terrifying.
newspaper
Like, I'm not
type of
actually
art.
scared of it.
But
Yeah, I'm not actually scared of it, but the way they use, like, it looks like paper cuts, but in stop motion.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And it does look pretty goddamn horrifying. You understand why they're called witches and why they could possibly destroy the world. Because, I mean, they look nasty, you know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, cute girl villain that is going to kill people, you know what I mean? Because that's what's in pretty much every anime. In here, you're like, oh, this is ugly. That's actually a threat. That looks dangerous. Oh,
Yep.
no.
yeah. Madoka has come up on many of my previous shows. It is definitely one that has touched a lot of my guests, and goodness knows, episode 3 changed anime forever. Madoka gave rise to an entire subgenre.
I watched it blind and I was like, oh, Mommy is my favorite character. She's so cute.
Oops.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I rewatched it again and I still really like Mommy, but Kyoko's my favorite now. Love Kyoko.
Mm-hmm.
She's the best. I love her. Although I have a hard time understanding the love around Madoka herself because, like, she's very bland as a character. She's like
she's
the
sort of
shy
almost
girl,
a self-insert
random girl.
character, and people
Yeah.
like heroes.
I know. I haven't seen a lot of people say Madoka's my favorite. Some people say Homura, some people say Sayaka because they relate to her, some people say Kyoko. I've never heard a single person say Madoka's my favorite. Never.
Yeah.
But I mean, I understand. She's kind of like the OC kind of person who just gets into it and like bad shit happens. Oh no, and then she becomes a god.
Mm-hmm. They're actually finally making a 4th movie. Did you ever see the Rebellion film?
I have watched the Rebellion
They are
film.
continuing.
I know that
They
there's
announced
a lot
that.
of controversy around that. There was a lot of controversy. A lot of people said it wasn't necessary. Some people said it was. Was a big
'cause
mess.
You
I
talk
did
about
like it.
people liking bad ends or not.
Exactly. I did like it. I thought it was pretty nice, but not the same level as season 1. Obviously, like that one, and the anime itself was just masterpiece. The movie itself, it was pretty good, but not at that same level. But if they announce another fucking movie, then oh boy, I'm down.
Yep. Also,
Haven't been
Shy
keeping up with
Tiefling, thanks for the
anime
follow.
news. Haven't been keeping up with the anime news, but I really need to, cause boy, Madoka stuff, it kills me. Also the freaking music for the ending after episode 3. Because like it's always like a really sweet ending on the 2 first episodes, and then the third one where everything goes to shit, and then the ending is just like super dark.
Yep.
I love it. It's so good. Oh my god, stuff like that. When I see people like in the comments of Madoka videos being like, "I watched this show when I was 11. I didn't know what it was about. I regret everything." Like it makes me laugh so much. Like it's not. I wouldn't say, you know, if you propose it to someone who's really used to dark shit and you tell them this is dark, they're probably gonna say, not too dark. But if you say to somebody, this is a magical girl show, it's really cute, and then they watch it and they're like,
you lied to me.
You lied to me. Everything lied to me. Like the opening is such a big liar. My god. It's amazing. I love stuff like that. Even Devilman Crybaby, like, it starts off kind of silly. You know that it's gonna be a deep show because they already established it from the beginning. But the ending is so heart freaking breaking. Like, everything. It is the example of a bad ending as well, which is funny because I said I like happy endings better. But it was done well, so I liked it. But it's just... the plot twists in movies are, when they're done well, it's like the best thing ever to watch, honestly. I'm in love with that.
Yeah, I live for things with twists or just, or big reveals, anything that is unexpected.
Even The Promised Neverland Season 1, like, you would start and say, like, oh my god, look at all those children being cute and shit, and then the first episode,
the episode
ends
1
and
reveal
you're like,
of just,
no, this is not what I expected. And then it goes really fucking dark. I actually watched The Promised Neverland with my family.
oh dear, oh no.
I watched it on my own before, but then I said to my parents, yo, we gotta watch that together. And they were like, I'm sure, at least if we have the subtitles in French. So I was like, yeah, let's go. And they both cried at the end, but like very ugly crying. My parents were like, why did you make us suffer like this? I was like, nah, I felt like it.
Have you ever seen, there's a director named Mamoru Hosoda. A couple of the films he's done are Wolf Children.
Yes.
He did Summer Wars. More recently, he did one called Mirai. Oh no, you gone pixely again.
I want to watch that one. I want to watch
Mirai was good.
Oh, no!
My favorite of his was Wolf Children. If you want one to like watch with parents that'll make people cry, Wolf Children.
Yeah,
Oh.
I have watched Wolf Children. Yeah, I have watched it a long time ago. It was rough, man. Why am I all pixelated? You ugly Twitch. So rude. I'm gonna go small again and then go big again. Won't change shit.
Hopefully
No,
it'll
still
correct itself in a couple
pixelatedness.
minutes like last time.
Well, I mean, it did kind of help slightly. Hold on.
Because what did we do last time? You went
Small.
super small, you changed to Pocket IU. We have to enter in the secret code. Up, up, down, down, left,
I
right,
feel
left,
like
right.
it cleans up a tiny bit, but not much. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna change to Pocket IU again. What
Please,
up?
welcome back, Pocket IU. Ta-da!
Pocket IU.
Yeah.
Pocket IU.
Oh, wait, actually, I think it's better now.
What?
I think it is actually better now.
Oh my Pocket IU is the key to all issues.
Yep,
Buy yourself
she fixes
one brand
everything.
Pocket IU. Buy yourself a Pocket IU, she will fix your problems.
Well, speaking
That's
of
your romantic
stuff
one.
like that, I know merch is something that you're looking into.
Yes, I am actually working a lot on it at the moment. I'm not that pixelated anymore. There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah, Pocket IU. Yep.
Pocket IU saves the
Saves.
day. But yeah, I mean, merch has been a thing for a while, but you know, it's kind of it's kind of like re-debut stuff. It's the kind of stuff you want to work on, but you know that until you have a bigger audience, maybe it's not the right time to release it. Because merch is something you put a lot of money into.
Yeah, because you have to
art,
actually buy everything.
Yeah, you gotta buy art, but you also gotta buy like the commercial rights to the art. Sometimes you gotta pay the shop itself to like ship stuff and all that. It is very expensive, so you gotta make sure that it will be a worth it investment. So if you have like 10 average viewers and you do merch, it's like, I mean, you could, but like, do you know people are gonna get it or not? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I wanted to wait a long time before I know, yes, people want stuff like this. They have asked me multiple times, and now I know that it's good to work on. So working very hard on it. Already have some stuff ready, but Still some stuff in the progress. I was hoping for to release it in July, but I have an artist who's working on my Dakimakura at this moment.
Oh
Who I also
my.
wanted her. I also wanted her to do some of my artwork for merch, and she's kind of overwhelmed at the moment. So we'll see. But July, August is kind of like the 2 months where I would want merch to be released at least. And yes, I have a body pillow coming up.
Mm.
I'm so excited for that.
Do you plan to release Pocket IU merch?
Oh boy, Pocket IU merch. Maybe a little. I don't know if it's possible with the shop that I'm working on. I don't know if the t-shirts have pockets, but I would have loved to have like a little lurking IU, like the
just sort
slice of head that IU
Mhm.
just like pops out of the pocket itself.
Yeah,
I would
just
have
one
to
of the
see
breast
if
pocket
that's
things where you have
possible.
it poking
Yeah,
over the
I would have
side.
to see if that's possible. But if there's no pockets, I would just probably put her like actually where the pocket is supposed to be, so that you have like just like a tiny
Yeah,
pocket.
because you could
IU
have
just
like the
peeking out.
illustration of a pocket, even if there's not a real pocket on there.
Exactly, I could also do that. That's actually really smart. I did not even think about that.
Just, yeah, you know how it's sort of
the idea.
upper area of the
Mm.
chest, sort of near the side, that you have the
Yeah.
little sort of curved or diagonal or diamond
Yeah.
shape, and then have her poking over the side.
Yeah, like I didn't even think about drawing the pocket on. That's so smart. Thank you.
Yeah, because that way you just produce a normal T-shirt, and that's
Yeah.
definitely going to be much easier than producing something with a proper pocket. Plus, I don't know anyone that actually uses shirt pockets.
True. It's so cute. Some people told me about it. The hardest thing with merch is when you ask people what they want and nobody has the same goddamn answers.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, I want a sticker that looks like this. I want a hoodie that looks like this. And it's like, I can only make so much stuff. It's really hard to just like brainstorm everything and then pick down what actually you think looks good and you think would sell. Because obviously you can't just have 40 t-shirts and then everything else is hidden away, and you gotta wait a little bit more for that. So for now, I'm going for like the basic stuff. I'm going for like the stickers, the mugs, the mousepad stuff. I can even do blankets apparently, which is pretty cute. I'm going for like t-shirts and hoodies. I'm planning on doing like limited edition stuff, but I'm waiting until I grow more in the future to release more than that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because yeah, it's really expensive. It really is. But yeah, I'm so excited for it. Very, very excited.
Yeah. When it comes to, I suppose, entertainment and marketing as a whole, I know it's something that you're interested in. Are there any particular marketing trends, whether it be recent ones or back in the day, that you've incorporated into your own work?
Well, when I started streaming, like I said, I watched a bunch of videos, which you don't have to do when you get started. It's not a big deal when you're just starting streaming. You gotta figure out if you like it or not at first. But the biggest thing that I've done is get a platform outside of Twitch, because Twitch is very, very hard, to get discoverability on. You really gotta have like a Twitter, a YouTube, a TikTok, whatever you can have on the side. So I was like, okay, I immediately need a Twitter. I'm gonna be active on it. I need to force myself to be active on it. And now it's like a normal part of my schedule now. And I know I need to tweet on Twitter. I know I need to be active on there. It's just a normal thing now. Second thing is really just learning how to talk to myself much more and coming up with topics. The advice that I give most people is get a notebook and like write topics that you want to talk about before stream, and then have it like next to you when you're talking. And if there's dead air at any point, you need to refer to that notebook and then start talking.
Yep.
Because
Dead air is the enemy.
yeah, it is the big ass enemy. First of all, it's awkward. Second of all, people are not coming for that. Obviously, they're coming for some kind of entertainment. If you're not here to provide it, they're gonna go see someone else who's doing the opposite. And just, it's what makes you you. If you speak, you're showing your personality. There's there might be a new person each second in your stream, and you have to make the good impression that makes them stay. That's the hardest part, the difference, when I stream, there's something I realize. It's like the amount of people that follow me versus the amount of people that speak in the chat. And there's like lurkers and all that. Some people don't really like to talk, but I've noticed that when you actually speak to them, you say, oh, thank you for the follow, blah blah blah. How's your day today? What have you been up to this morning? People just feel more inclined to respond to you because, you know, they want to chat with you, but they also feel like you've invited them to a conversation. If you just say thank you for the follow, or just their name, they might chat, but it's really rare that they do, honestly. Some people will just watch you for like 3 minutes and be like, maybe I'll come back another day. Bye.
Yeah, and
like, you have
that
to initiate conversation a lot.
Yeah, and it puts me, admittedly, as a talk show host in a weird conversation, or in a weird situation. Speaking with Shy Tiefling and Ragdir, thank you for the follow. Talking just about that, of just, since I'm mostly interacting with the guests, that I'm not able to do a bunch in chat, but, you know, I'm always happy to see whatever comments chat has, and I suppose I try to remember to say this, but I don't always remember, and I don't think I said it today, but chat, if you all have any questions that you'd like me to ask IU, I can't guarantee I'll ask every question, but I'm always open to suggestions, so if you feel free to drop some questions in chat along the way.
Yeah, also...
Yes, Shy Tiefling, you got summoned. Hello!
Oh, you got summoned, little demon. But yeah, no, it's just... You know, a lot of people think it's complicated. Even I, before, had a talk show, which was called Marshmallow Speaks. I did it, like, every Saturday, and I understand what you mean. It's so complicated to focus on chat and a guest at the same time, because you want to let them speak, but at the same time, sometimes you're like, you want to thank someone in particular, and you're like, I have to let them finish, because it's not respectful. And that's why I kind of slightly let go of it, because I feel like I'm more of an answering person more than an asking person. You know, I'm not the one who asks the questions. I like being the one who answers them.
Yeah, and it's the flip side for me. That's why I'm the host.
Yeah, that's why I just had a really hard time, and I just love talking to chat so much, which is why I don't do a lot of collabs on my streams. I love solo streams because I'm like, if I have to focus on somebody else, a game, or whatever conversation we're doing, and my chat, I'm gonna be drained, like actually so goddamn tired. When I did those talk show thingies, I was literally dead after. Like, I was so tired from focusing on so many different things at once that my brain was just like exploding, basically, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore, because honestly it's taking me too much mental, like, capacity. So props to you.
Marco in the chat, speaking of which, brings up a very good question. We've had special guest Pocket IU, but if we could bring out special guest Stabber.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, I usually add him as like a GIF on my face. I don't really have him on the software, so I can't really just add him right now.
Well, in that case, if people want to see Stabber, you might have to go to IU's streams. He is a very frequent guest there, and he is a very good boy.
Where's Stabber? Stabber's a very good boy. He's taking a break because he's scared. Okay, he's an introvert. Don't blame him. He needs breaks. He also takes breaks on ASMR streams because he's sleeping. I promise I feed him well. Very well. Oh my god, no, Stabber cries. No.
She left Stabber at home. Yeah. Hey,
no!
Stabber needs his beauty sleep.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Let him get his beauty sleep. If you want him to come on, he will be exhausted and not ready for tomorrow. He needs to be ready. Well, never mind. Tomorrow's ASMR, so he sleeps too. That's okay. Let's. He's okay. Don't worry. I feed him. I promise. At least he's taking care of himself. You know?
Yes. Self-care is very, very important.
Exactly. Something more people in here need to do. I'm watching everyone in chat.
Yes. Actually, I realize you haven't shown off your knife yet.
Well, I haven't. Well, that's true. Well, I mean, I've been trying to come off as pretty nice this whole time, but, you know, yeah. I can show it off like this, or like this. I really love it. I think it's so cool, because with my 2D, with my 3D model, I couldn't have a knife before. I was like, no, that's like my biggest thing. So I just told like my artist, I was like, I need this. I'm sorry, but I need it. There's no yes, no, I need it. I was really happy they were willing to do this. I can even like eat the tip. There you go. I like the way it moves.
It's the knife of positive persuasion. Yes, indeed.
Exactly. It's no, I wouldn't actually hurt anybody. I'm just if you don't eat like 3 times a day,
you might have to cut up some food for them and feed it to them.
Exactly. It's just for cutting up food. Absolutely, cutting up.
And nothing else. Certainly not.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very into cooking, as you can see from my eyes.
Yeah, you mentioned that you were thinking about being a baker at some point.
Yeah, it's because I love sharp stuff. Anyways. Oh my god.
And yes,
No,
X
but
fans,
for
I
real.
think that's probably the first time and might be the last time that I ask one of my guests to show off their knife.
Someone random, show off your knife. I mean, I show mine with pride. Some people might not. I like mine a lot. It's very pretty.
Yes.
It's so
Very
shiny.
shiny. Yeah, you keep
Also,
it
you can
nice and
see my little
polished.
nails. My little nails. All red. But yeah, no, it's a big part of me. Honestly, my first character that I ever created was kind of like the one I have now. It had like scars, but it also had like dripping from the mouth and all. The skin was basically white, the hair was down, no bows, nothing. It was basically me but more edgy. And I was like, yeah, I like that edgy side, but it's too much. I need like a counterpart, you know, like, oh, it's edgy but not too much. Like I actually look kind of cute still. So yeah, I really thought of my character like that. Like I really wanted to keep like that kind of like creepy vibe because obviously I'm really into it. But I did want her to just like, you know, appear as like an actual human because back then she had like black in her eyes. Which you know, no offense to Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, but kind of overdone at this point.
Yeah, a tiny bit.
I wanted actual eyes. My eyes look like lava lamps right now. I love the way they did my eyes. They look like tiny sparkly bubbles.
Yes, they are very, very nice.
Good. Put the knife down for now. For
But
now.
only for now.
Yeah, unless chat says something bad. Then I can take care of it.
So it's something that you haven't been able to do a lot of in the past year and a half for obvious reasons, but cosplay is another area that you're really into.
Yep. Oh boy. Did I start like 6 years ago? No, even more, I think. It was a while ago. It's funny fact, actually. I think Undertale is what got me into cosplay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How so?
I think so. Okay, I think I was going through an Instagram post. I was going through Instagram just like, you know, looking at cute pictures, and then I saw this one girl who was like wearing a Frisk cosplay, and I was like, that's really cute. They look super cute. Like, oh my god. And I actually like chatted with them and sent them a message like, yo, you know, your cosplay is super cute. I did not know what cosplay was before, but like, I'm kind of into it now. And they were like, thank you so much. You're so sweet. And funny fact, we actually started dating after that. We were like cosplay partners for a while. And we went to a bunch of conventions together in like cosplay. You know, I got my Frisk cosplay, I got a Kara cosplay, which at that time I didn't do any makeup. It was just like putting on the sweater, putting on the pants and the shoes, and boom, that's it. Like, really nothing else than that. And then I started getting into wigs and eventually into makeup because I realized that my face on pictures was really weird if I didn't have makeup on to look like the character. Because when you have your normal hair on, it looks okay. But a wig is like double the volume of normal hair, so it looks really weird if you have like a normal face underneath. Really, really weird. So yeah, I got into makeup like 2 years into cosplay, which yeah, I waited a long time to get into that, but honestly, it made me feel way more confident. I've done Frisk, I've done Kara, I've done Fiona from Adventure Time, Princess Bubblegum as well. Haven't done Marceline though. I was planning to do her before the pandemic started, unfortunately. But like, I have a bunch of cosplay. I did Monica, did Natsuki, did Sayori. I was gonna do Celestia from Danganronpa. Junko as well. I have a bunch of them. I don't even remember all of them. But like, there's just like such a weird part about conventions that like people go up to you and they're like, I love your cosplay, can I take a picture of you? You know what I mean? I kind of feel this vibe with streaming. It's kind of like the little link that they have between them. It's that now people, you know, are excited when I talk to them. They're like, oh my god, it's AyuuChii, look at her. You know, they get excited when I'm in chat. And I kind of link that to cosplay when people go up to you and they're like, can I get a picture of you? Because, like, you're super cute. Like, your cosplay is adorable. And then they post the picture and they're like, yeah, look, I found a cosplay of that character. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the bond that I felt. That makes me happy. Like, conventions was my happy spot before the whole pandemic stuff started. It's so amazing to see people that are just like, even kids, because when I was doing Princess Bubblegum and Fiona from Adventure Time, obviously I got little kids coming up to me. And the amount of times that I like almost teared up because a little kid grabbed my leg and gave me a hug and was like, "Oh my god,
Oh,
that's
that's
really
so
you.
cute.
That's really you. You're real."
And especially when it's like the super young ones who might not understand
Exactly.
that, all right, this is someone in an outfit that they might actually think you are that
And then I
character.
roleplay the character well
Yep,
so that
yep.
they actually do believe it, because I don't want to be like, "Ugh, no, I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
a
no, you
normal
can't crush their dreams. You have to play
Exactly.
along. If a kid comes up to you and says that you
yeah.
are Princess Bubblegum, you are Princess Bubblegum for the next 10
Exactly.
minutes
I
or
will
whatever.
become the Princess Bubblegum. But like I was really surprised because before I was like, that only happens with Disney characters, unfortunately. But no, like I had a bunch of kids just coming up to me and being like, "Oh my god, look, it's Princess Bubblegum. She's real. She's moving." Like that kind of stuff just made my heart so warm. It's literally what made me keep coming to conventions. It's people asking for pictures, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff, it's what makes cosplay so much worth it, you know what I mean? Whether it's photographers or like just normal people, random people who actually think your cosplay is super pretty and they want a picture with you. And like, even though, there was like, when I was Princess Bubblegum, I got like about 200 pictures in one day, which, holy fuck. But like there's always that side feeling, that side thought where you're like, I got 200 pictures, but imagine how many pictures I would have gotten if there was no shy people. Because I know so many people are shy.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
many.
And then
Even
there's some people who are
myself.
just like, oh, that outfit's so cool, but I don't want to bother them.
Exactly, they don't want to bother. And I mean, I understand that. Sometimes when the cosplayer is eating or they are looking, for somebody, it might not be the right time. But like, there's so many times where I felt so bad because I saw one of my favorite cosplayers in front of me and I was so afraid to ask for a picture. I was like, oh my god, like they're so pretty and amazing. Like, can I really do that? Is that really okay? And I missed them, and then they went back home, and I was like, no, what have I done? I'm so stupid. I should have asked nicely. But yeah, that taught me a lesson of like never, ever decide not to like ask for pictures, because I mean it doesn't really bother the person. If it bothers them, they'll tell you maybe later. And like the worst part they could say is just that, it's maybe later.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm busy. Other than that, they'll say yeah, like fuck yeah, let's take a picture.
Yeah, just ask politely and understand if they say no.
There's such, it's such a good feeling to look back at convention pictures and being like, I actually met that person. That was so cool. But for a while, I cosplayed more niche stuff, like more, I cosplayed DDLC when it just came out, so the boom stuff didn't really happen yet. So I was not expecting a lot of pictures, and then I ended up having a shit ton of people recognize me. And that's the kind of stuff that feels good. It's like, I know people don't know that character very well, but I still got so many pictures. Like, one day I cosplayed Rachel from Angels of Death, which got an anime adaptation, but it's actually an RPG. And I was like, oh my god, like the anime adaptation's not even that popular, the game's not popular, I don't mind not getting pictures, but at least I think my cosplay looks pretty. That was a fucking lie. I got 110 pictures that day.
Wow.
Oh yeah, no, it was crazy. The only stuff with convention though is there is bad sides to it, obviously. First of all, when you have makeup on, you're scared 24/7 that the makeup is gonna wipe off or that something's gonna go wrong with it, like your eyelashes start to fall off, or like your lips are slowly fading away and you gotta retouch them, but you don't know when, you don't have time because there's so many people you're bumping into. Like, whew, it's a big thing. But I converted my mother to conventions very early on because we actually went to one in Paris, not, a few years ago, and she was like, wait, do strangers just randomly hug each other? They have like free hug signs? That's a thing in here? I was like, yeah, it's a big thing. People like to give love to each other by, giving hugs. And my mom was like, you would have told me this was a thing 20 years ago, I would have not believed you.
And I don't know how much of a thing it's going to be after this past
after
year and a
COVID,
half.
it's
I think people are going to be, at least for the first couple years back, I do not think that free hug signs will be a thing.
Maybe a thing still, but not as appreciated as before. Like,
yeah.
Because even at Pride today, a lot of people had free hug signs, but nobody was like pushy about it. Nobody jumped on anybody. But like in conventions, so many people like to jump on other people and force them into a hug, which don't do that. bad. So I think they should cool it down after the whole COVID stuff starts calming down. But it's such a good place to be, honestly. Even if sometimes I gotta wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning to get ready and put cute makeup on, it's so worth it when you have good friends and you have like such a good time in the convention itself. I gotta be honest, I'm very guilty of not actually using the convention for what it's actually for. I usually go into the shop stuff. I don't really go to the signing. I don't really go to like all
the panels and
the panels and all that. I don't really go to that kind of stuff when they have like actors and all that. Not really my thing. I just love going through the shops and being like, oh my god, a cute plushie for $20. Oh my god, I want one of them. I always came back with like tons of plushies. So thank you, pandemic, slightly, because you saved my wallet. But at the same time, please stop. I want to go back to them.
Yeah,
I
I'm
spend more money on
really
plushies.
looking forward to being able to go back to conventions. I don't think it's going to be for another while, but
oh well, in France actually, vaccination is getting a little quicker. So they have said that kind of actually in this month, I think that conventions are going to be allowed again, probably with masks though.
yeah.
But there is a very big convention that I usually go to in Paris that was it was canceled in April, obviously. But they said that they were surely going back in November, and it was confirmed that they were going back in November. So maybe by then we'll be done with this shit. Hopefully, that would be nice.
There's a chance.
I already got my
States.
first shot of vaccination. I'm waiting for my second one. But boy, do I want to go back to those kinds of things, because they were the best moments of my life. Conventions are amazing. They're like subathons, basically. They're so special. They happen very little a year, and you do pay to go for them. But like they're such a good moment. Honestly, like the price are, in France people complain because some tickets are like $20. When I saw the prices for Anime Expo,
Oh yeah.
my face
it's not even close.
vanished.
You said
My
$20, and I
face-
was like, that's cheap.
And people complain about it. And then I saw Anime Expo, I was like,
Yeah,
what?
actually, Anime Expo is going on this weekend virtually. It actually started just around the time that we went live. So if you all are looking for something to do later in the day and tomorrow,
Really?
Anime Expo Lite, yes. Yeah, you have to
Ooh.
pay $5, but it's a donation to a charitable cause. So, and plus
Alright.
it's only $5. So very cheap, very easy
no,
to do.
$5 is nothing compared to the goddamn price that you
Yeah,
usually
and actually,
pay to
they
go
have
there.
a lot of VTubers that they're having panels with all
I
of
saw
Hololive
that.
EN, Niji-Sanji EN, and VShoujo. That really
Saw that.
surprisingly,
So
almost
cool.
that AX has just gone all in on VTuber content in a single year. That
Yeah.
I was expecting, okay, maybe they'll get Hololive, like maybe one of the
Yeah, but
talents.
VShoujo, that's surprising.
But to get VShoujo and to get Niji-Sanji, and it's all of them.
I'm actually very curious as to when COVID stuff kind of vanishes away and we can do stuff normally again, if they're still gonna have like screens where they can have VTubers on it and the IRL people
I
ask
hope
questions.
they do.
And
I think
then
that
the
there's
VTubers answer.
yeah,
That would be
because
so
what you could
cute.
do is just you have the projection, and the way that you still make it special for the attendees is that instead of having the VTuber answer through chat, that you have basically like we're doing, that you have a microphone on the other end, that people in the audience can come up and ask their question and have it actually answered in real time by the VTuber. So obviously you're not going to have them come in person for privacy reasons and whatnot. You don't want them to dox themselves. But I think there are absolutely ways that you can have VTubers as guests at conventions.
Oh, totally. That would be a blast. I would love that, honestly. And also because it's rough because, when I'm gonna go to conventions, I'm kind of gonna have to keep that side of me private, the side of streaming stuff. I'm not like big on like hiding my identity. I've showed my face before at one point. I just don't like to show it too often. It's like, wow, it was a one-time moment. And I don't want it to be part of my brand. I'm just like, yeah, I have a face. Turns out I'm a human being. Wow. Anyways, let's change subjects. You know what I mean? So I don't really mind people who would recognize me. Like I wouldn't be like freaking out. Like, no, I'm not a VTuber. I promise. I would be like, yeah, that's me. cool. Just try not to like blast my face on the internet, you know, because I don't want that. But the thing is, for example, TwitchCon. A lot of people talked about TwitchCon and told me, like, are you gonna go next year? And for VTubers, it's complicated because it's like, what do? You know what I mean? You are not invited, so you can't, like, have a panel with, like, your avatar. So what do? Because if you come up as a random person, who's gonna recognize you?
Yeah.
Nobody. If you come up in cosplay of your character, maybe some people might recognize you, but they also might think you're just a random person who wanted to cosplay that specific VTuber. So, you know, it's complicated for us to go to those sorts of events. And I know that, you know, they can't just put screens for every single person who wants to go as a virtual avatar. But, yeah, I would really like to go to Anime Expo at some point because it looks, first of all, massive. Absolutely massive.
Oh yeah, in person it is enormous.
Yeah.
It is over 100,000 people.
Oh boy, like, because I know in France the biggest convention we have is called Japan Expo, which happens in July usually. Got canceled this year, obviously. And there is a lot of people there, but I was like, it's the big, like, it's massive, but I was like, Anime Expo is probably twice as big as that. And I mean, some stuff kind of made me not want to go, like the fact that there was a legit fucking earthquake happening like a few years ago.
I was there for that.
I
was there for
you
that.
You were there? You got the earthquake?
Yep. Well, because there was multiple. There was one that happened overnight that I slept through. One of my friends, poor guy, was awake, and he was on an upper level of a really tall hotel, and he was like, that was one of the scariest things I've ever been through.
Yeah.
Then there was another smaller earthquake that happened on, it was the second or third day, and I used to do work at conventions, so I was working at a booth. And have you ever been on just a boat, a cruise ship or anything like that, where you're at sea and it's just sort of, the boat rocks a little bit with the waves. It's not stormy out or anything, but you can feel that slight swaying underneath your feet.
Yeah,
it felt like I was on a boat like that. I felt like I was thinking, okay, have I been standing up for too long? Am I starting to, you know, get lightheaded? Is something wrong? Am I dehydrated? And then I looked up and I saw that the hanging lights were swaying. I was like, oh, nope, it's an earthquake.
What is that? I bet. That must have been scary. And also the freaking heat. Wait, yeah, Anime Expo
is
in July,
it's always July 4th weekend or right up next to it. So it's July in California. It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot.
Yeah, it usually happens at the same time as Japan Expo then. So yeah, usually you guys hit the 100 degrees at that point.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that must be very painful.
At least in California, sometimes
Expo, it was pain. It was painful.
Yeah, in California, it's usually 90 to 100, so it's not the worst, but everyone's really, you know, drinking water, trying to stay in the shade, and obviously
trying really hard to not have a heavy cosplay, even though you worked on it
oh gosh,
fucking year.
That's the commitment of just cosplayers going to summer conventions.
I remember going as Frisk to like a July convention, but the sweater. The sweater is so massive, and it's actually so goddamn hot, so I was nearly like having heat waves like thrown in my way, and I was like having strokes constantly. It was so bad.
Oh no.
So now I tell myself all the time, you need to pick a cosplay that is appropriate for the weather. You got a cosplay that you've been working on for a long time that's like hot appropriate, then wear it when it's like the good weather for it, you know what I mean? Because God, it's not worth it to wear a cute cosplay if you're gonna suffer all day, you know what I mean? It's really not worth it. Just wait until the weather is good for that.
Yeah.
But yeah. God, it's I miss it really, really much. Even though one day I actually cosplayed Fluffy Light as well from Land of the Lustrous.
Well, the question is, which version?
Oh, the first one, the one where she's all nice and cute and all that. I wanted to do the second ones, and then the pandemic hit, obviously. I wanted to do Cinnabar as well. I still have the wig for Cinnabar, because I really like Cinnabar as well.
Yeah.
I actually had a group, and that taught me a lot. The fact that there was more than 10 people in my cosplay group, which I was the leader of. Don't do cosplay groups.
Cosplay groups can be a challenge, for sure.
Unless you guys all know each other super fucking well, don't do cosplay groups with more than 3 people. It's awful. Stay in duo, stay in trio, don't go with 10 people, because like it was such a freaking pain in the ass to get everyone together at the same spot to do photo shoots and all that. Oh my god, it was bad. It was really, really bad. So yeah, that taught me a lot about it. But I'm really excited for the upcoming stuff, because I actually, when the pandemic started hitting, I was really sad because I was gonna go to one of my conventions that I had planned for a really long time, which was a night convention. Actually, it went on the day and the night, and there was like karaoke stuff and places to sleep on. I was like, it's like a little sleepover, but with cosplay friends. So I was so excited. I had prepared all of my cosplays for it. And then the news hit that it was gonna get canceled. And
Oh, that's the
I was in the
worst.
car. I was in the car getting home from like a ski trip, and I was like, "What? No, please no!" And, like I kept like crying. I was like, "No, please don't cancel it." I was looking out to it so much. So honestly, now I'm just like, please let them come back. Like conventions are so good. They're so nice. I would like to go to Anime Expo at some point, but the price for the flight to France to the US.
Yeah, especially it's one thing if you're traveling in the US or from Canada or something, but yeah, international flights on top of
$1,000.
Oh dear.
Yep, don't want to do it for now.
Nope.
But if I can afford it at some point, then yes. Because I've been to New York twice. Once as a family trip, and once when I was younger as a field trip with people. And it was really good, even though we mainly stayed in like Times Square stuff and just a bit around. We didn't really go anywhere else. It was really, really fun. I have noticed a lot of stuff about American culture, especially about food. How much do you guys eat?
A fair bit.
A fair bit? I could
That's
only
the
eat
nice
half.
way to put it.
I asked for a small Coke in the freaking McDonald's.
Oh yeah, that's one of the most iconic things of just the size difference at McDonald's for US versus international is staggering.
I'm really used to like those tiny little kippy cups that you have when you order a small Coke, and then I just got like a big ass cup of it. I was like, what is if this is small, what is big? A pool? I don't want a pool of Coke. No thank you. And also the freaking supermarkets, you guys have a lot of chemical stuff. Lots and lots of chemical stuff. I've noticed that a lot. I have found lots of biscuits though that were really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys have the limited editions before we do. So like we found like at that point I think it was the hold on, the buttercup Oreos? What was it? Hold on. Peanut butter Oreos, I think. That was not a thing in France, so when I found it, I was like, what is that? Also, you guys had like nerds and like fluff and all that stuff, and we always talked about it on like social media. People were raving about it, but it was not there in France yet, so I was like buying a shit ton of it because I was like,
yeah, and bring it back home.
American candy. I was a big fan of American candy. Also, like in Times Square, there was like a bunch of shops that were like just people in little boxes, like little stuff that could like roll itself, and they were just selling candy. And I thought that was really smart. I thought that should be a thing in here, because we have that for ice cream, but for candy and like chips and all that, not really. We only have shops, so I was like, that's pretty cool. And also the freaking pretzels. I miss that a lot.
Oh yeah.
The
I was gonna
pretzels,
ask, did you have any favorite foods that you had during your trip to the US that just stand out for
aside from the gum, because I found like a gum stuff that was really, really good. But other than that, yes, the pretzels, I always thought pretzels were like stuff that was crunchy, like the tiny pretzels that you eat.
Yeah, oh no, soft, warm pretzels are so good.
Yeah, when I saw those ones, and I was like, wait, they're actually like soft, like bread pretzels? And I eat one, and I was like, I'm in heaven. This is good. This is so good. I'm really hoping that there is a place like this in Paris, because God, those pretzels were heavenly. That's so good. I love them very much.
Yeah, and that's interesting, because soft pretzels aren't really, at least for Americans, something that you think of as an iconic American food.
Yeah. But we ate one every single day. Like every day I was like, oh my God, there's a pretzel shop. I'm going there. I'm eating one. But yeah, no, mostly what I've noticed also is the difference in pricing because we do have, we have euros and you guys have dollars. So it was really weird going shopping for clothing and seeing how cheap it was compared to us. But that's because, it was dollars, so obviously it was gonna be, cheaper. Um, so I bought like a bunch of clothing from there. I even bought like a lot of plushies.
Yeah.
Probably plushies. There was like a bunch of stores that sold a bunch of plushies that were like American only. So I was like, ah! We went really big American fanboy stuff. We bought like mugs that said America and stuff like that.
I feel like that's what everyone does the first time they go to visit a place.
Exactly, the cliche
If it's your
stuff.
first time, like
Mhm.
first time you go to New York, you're probably gonna go to Times Square or Broadway or Empire State Building, and then later times, then you'll start exploring around more. The first time you go to France, you're gonna go to the Eiffel Tower. It's just one of the things that you do for your first time. But then
it was such a fancy trip as well. Like my parents saved up for it for ages, so we even got like a super good hotel in Times Square, and like we felt like royalty for 2 weeks. It was literally like a dream come true, to be honest. My parents saved up so much for us to go there, because I'll be honest, we don't go on a lot of vacation. New York was one of the only countries I've ever visited besides France. I've been to Iceland for the field trip stuff, but other than that, no other country. Never have, had the time to visit anything else because my dad is a surgeon, so he's very, very busy. Doesn't have a lot of vacation.
So he's good with knives too.
Yes!
Oh, so it all makes sense now. That's where you learned it.
it's in the
That's why you like
family.
knives. This is the deep lore right here.
I actually I have a family of like health workers, and I was like, yo, I want to work in art. It was really funny because like my dad is a surgeon, my mom works with like people who have cancer, and then my brother came up and he was like, yo, I want to sell cars, and I was like, I'm in the same deal. I want to do artwork. Do you think they're gonna be disappointed in our career choices? But no, they were very supportive. My dad has always been super supportive because he told me that if he didn't become a surgeon, if he wasn't interested in that, he probably would have wanted to go inside something artistic. So he was kind of happy to see himself through me, doing that career.
Oh, that's
instead
real
of
sweet.
him. Yeah, it's really cute. I know not a lot of people are supported by their parents in artistic careers because it's very new, that you can make like a living out of art. That's not like, it's not like being a painter in museums, because when you say you want to work in art, people immediately assume that you want to go in museums, which, yes, that is very hard to make a career out of. That's not a joke. It's really hard to be a painter or stuff like that. But like those people don't remember that there's people working on animation movies. They're like, yep, they just like pop out normally. They don't understand how many sides of art there is. And when you tell them about all those new jobs, they just get confused. So I understand why some parents just, they want the best for their kids and they're like, no, don't go work in art. But then if you explain to them how it all works, people are like, yeah, so you can actually make a livable wage with this. Okay, go for it then. So yeah, I'm just so excited to start working in that. Plus, I'm gonna have my little apartment in Paris, which I'm gonna move out very, very soon. Maybe about 2 weeks from now, honestly. Very, very soon. Yeah, I'm kind of gonna live the weird Parisian life, like eating croissants in the morning and then working on artwork. It sounds like kind of a cliche life, but honestly, it sounds kind of dreamy at the same time.
Yeah,
I'm
and
really
hey,
excited.
cliches happen for a reason because a lot of people do it.
It's really hard to get a big apartment in Paris, so mine is quite small, but honestly, I already feel very privileged to be able to move out for my studies, so I'm really excited. It feels so weird to think about the fact that everything's gonna change for me very soon, because obviously, I've been in universities that are very basic, teach stuff that you have seen in like high school, but just like, in France we have a lot of universities that are just like high school 2.0 basically. It's like, oh, you don't know what to do with your life? Come over here. do the same stuff you've done in high school. Again, but like a little harder. That's
yeah.
it.
And I know you were very, very happy to be done with your final presentations a couple weeks ago.
Fuck yeah. Oh my god, that was a pain in the ass. I hate doing presentations like these because I know I don't enjoy what I'm talking about. It's basically, you gotta learn it by heart, and I hate that. Hate learning stuff by heart. I think it needs to come out of your own thoughts. You know, it needs to come out of your voice. You have to be determined about what you're speaking of. If you don't like it, it's gonna be visible. I did good, thank God. I'm gonna see my results actually in a few days. But I know that I graduated already, and I know that I'm going away from that place, thank God. Um, but yeah, it's weird seeing that everything's gonna change. Like, even streaming, adding up to that, I'm taking it way more seriously than I did a year ago. So I'm gonna be like a part-time streamer in Paris with her own apartment, which I've never moved out before. I'm still living at my parents' house for now. Working in animation 17 hours a week, which I'm still quite shocked about that. Is that normal for private schools? Because I'm used to doing 35 hours a week of school. I'm not really used to anything shorter than that. Is that normal?
I don't know, because at least where I went to college, there was credits, and that was sort of a weird way of counting hours, but it doesn't count hours that you spend outside of class, so
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. It's always been a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you plan to do
'Cause
any of
when-
your work potentially on stream? Like, if there's an assignment to do some drawing or
Yes.
animating, is that something that you think you'll be comfortable
Yes.
doing live?
I was actually thinking of that. I was like, yeah, what's cool is that I can actually make my studies part of my streaming career if I want to do art at some point. And I know that I have like, oh, I need to do an illustration or work on car design or stuff like this. I can literally do it on stream.
Two
So
birds
it's
with
like
one
I can
stone.
do my homework and talk to chat at the same time, which I think is super good. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was saying being able to kill two birds with one stone, of being able to combine them like that. Yeah.
Especially because when I learned about the 17 hours week, since I'm used to literally twice, nearly 3 times more work than that, I'm assuming I'm gonna have a lot of homework, which that's normal. Obviously, I need to, get into some work more seriously. But that made me happy because I was like, that's the best for me because I can be home, work on my animation stuff on stream, have the time to stream because I don't have a lot of classes, but still have time to, work on my actual assignments. So honestly, it just sounds like the perfect schedule. I just have to see if my hours line up with because 17 hours a week means nothing. I could have 1 hour on Tuesday, for example, and it has to be the hour that falls on my stream. So
Yeah.
you never know.
Depends on how things are
I'm
scheduled.
waiting on the schedule. But normally it should be good because usually at 5 p.m. classes are mostly starting to end. I know that the entire school shuts down when it's like 6. So to be honest, if it's just moving my streams from 5 to 6, I don't really mind.
That's not a
It's
big
not a
deal.
big deal. And also because now, for now, I have like the pressure of eating dinner with my family, or people coming into my room. When I'm gonna be on my own, it's gonna be like I can eat dinner whenever the fuck I want. If I want to keep streaming, then I can. If I want to take like a 2-minute break to go grab a snack, it's easy. My apartment is gonna be small, so like the kitchen is in front of me if I want one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As
It's-
someone who
it's
lives
big.
alone in a small studio apartment, it's even though it is a small space, you make it your own, and just there is a certain level of freedom that you have when you are just living on your own, that you can make your own schedule, and yeah.
Exactly. You have so much more responsibilities. Like, I got excited for so many random things. Like, when I talked to people, I was like, wait, I'm gonna have to be the one who does the grocery shopping, but like all the time. Like, it won't be just once or twice. It's every single month. And people were like, you're excited for that? I was like, yeah. I can go into a shop, and if I feel like eating strawberry, I can buy strawberries. And I think that's amazing. Like, the tiniest things make me happy about that. Like, I know moving out is kind of a scary experiment, but at the same time, it's like you need it to, start developing into an adult and all that. And I gotta admit, I'm kind of late to that. I know some people move out very early on. But, I mean, I'm moving out into freaking Paris, which, it's not cheap either. But like the tiniest stuff about moving out makes me happy. Like, I can go into a shop, think that a little cactus plant is cute, and I can be like, yeah, I mean, I have $2 on me, I can buy that little cactus plant and then get it back home and put it in my apartment if I want to. Nobody has rules over my apartment. It's kind of amazing because even when you're living on your own and you have living with your parents and you have like a room, yes, it's your room, but it's still a room inside of your parents' house, so you know that you can't do anything and everything with it.
Yeah.
But when it's your own place, you're like, yeah, I can do whatever the heck I want, and I'm the only one who sees it anyways. It's a nice form of privacy. I really do need privacy, which is why I didn't get a roommate. Because some people do get lonely when they move out. I want to be alone. I want to be lonely.
Yeah,
You
I
need
don't
to
have
be
a roommate, and
focused
I'm
work on art.
honestly glad for it. And it, especially for someone who streams it. I stream once a week, maybe twice on special occasions like this week. But for someone like you who's streaming most days of the week, the fact that you don't need to worry about, all right, if you go a little late, you don't need to worry about keeping them up, assuming you're not being incredibly loud and disturbing your neighbors, but that's an entirely separate issue. Or just, okay, I can wake up really early one day if I feel like it, or I can just, having that personal freedom, it really is nice.
It feels so good, because then you there's the whole like judgment stuff where you don't have to be scared of what the other person, is like, what they're doing and all that, and you don't have to warn anybody if you want to get out of your house for a bit. If you want to make cereal at 5 p.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, nobody's gonna look at you weirdly because you ate the remainings of their cereals, because it's your cereal and your cereal only.
Yes, exactly.
Stuff like that, It's those little bits and things that I'm like, no, I wouldn't want a roommate. No, I wouldn't. Focusing on art, I need to be alone. Focusing on stream, I would be uncomfortable if someone was next to me. You know what I mean? I need to be alone.
Yeah, plus with the internet, if you're looking to socialize or talk with friends,
it's
super easy that you don't need to worry about it. That just
next to your hand. You just have to click on Twitter and you're like, yo, I want to speak to people. What have you guys been up to today? And then boom, people chat with you. So.
And if it's people that you know IRL, that you can start a video chat, and you can still have that type of social interaction even if you're on your own.
Exactly. I think it's a very big thing. I know some people are like, I don't want to be alone and stuff like this, but honestly, I think I would massively burn out if I was living with someone else, because I would be like, yeah, but like sometimes I want my little me time.
It's a whole extra layer.
Even with my parents this morning, I did something really weird. For lunchtime, I was like, they were in the kitchen, and I was like, and then they were like, well, what's up? Like, why are you not eating your meal? And I was like, I like eating on my own. And then they took it really badly. They were like, you want us to get out of the room? And I was like, no, I'm just like, it makes me feel comfier when I'm eating on my own. Like, it's dumb shit like that when you'll be alone, you won't have to justify it to other people because you will be on your own. And that's the best part. If I want ice cream at 3 a.m. in the morning, I will eat ice cream. What you gonna do about it?
Yes. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh boy, I'd say cookie dough.
Very good choice. I'd say my favorite's mint chocolate chip, but cookie dough is definitely up there.
Oh, mint chocolate chip is not a big one for me because I'm not a big fan of mint, but I can understand that. Although I had a favorite flavor of ice cream before, but it's an ice cream that was discontinued, and I am in pain. Yeah, it was like a bubblegum ice cream, but it was like not the usual bubblegum you see on the market. It was like a very, very good type of bubblegum, and it got discontinued, and I want it again so bad.
You like bubblegum a lot because you mentioned that you found a gum when you went to New York as well.
Yeah. Glory to bubblegum. Yeah, I do love bubblegum. I think it tastes pretty good. I just think most of the ice creams that are bubblegum flavored are kind of more on the chemical side and not straight up bubblegum flavored. And that one ice cream was like, it was so good. I'm so sad it got discontinued. God damn it. But yeah, other than that, big fan of cookie dough stuff. I'm a big fan of fruity ice cream. I love sorbets. Like, all the classic like peach ice cream, orange ice cream, lemon ice cream, stuff like that. I really like that. And sometimes even more than just vanilla stuff. I do love vanilla a lot. But I don't know, just fruity ice creams are way more refreshing. So I like them more in the summer. They're very, very good.
Yeah.
Ice cream talk. I want ice cream.
I have some ice cream in my freezer. I'm probably gonna have some of it after the show.
Yes, me too. I love ice cream too much. It's obsession. I have a problem with snacks as well. That one thing the thing that we have in France that I think is not as developed in America is like the culture of eating before the meal, because like even in France we have a big culture around eating in tables, with people. It's a very big thing that you usually eat with your family all at once, and when you invite people, it's like a big table of 8 people just eating together, and it's very important. It usually lasts like 2 to 3 hours, stuff like that. And the big part of like food culture in France is that we usually have this thing called apéro, which is usually you just like drink and you have like little snacks, like tiny little snacks. We call them gâteau apéritif. Basically, it's like all the Dorito stuff, all the the chips, the little biscuits that are salty, stuff like that. And that doesn't really have a name in America, I think. In English, there's no names for like snacks, but purely the biscuit stuff, like the salty biscuits, not
Yeah,
like the
I
little
guess
sausages and melons, the biscuits.
that from a palate standpoint, you would describe that as a savory snack, but the concept of
Mm.
having, a particular
Mm.
time or occasion to eat just savory snacks
Yeah.
is not really a concept that
Mm.
in the UK you have tea time, but
Yeah,
you
that's
don't have
true.
anything like that really in the
Yeah,
US.
it's
That
like
it's just
sweet stuff.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just called having a snack here, but there isn't
Yeah.
a big snacking culture in
Mm-hmm.
terms of setting aside time to snack with others.
Yeah, in France, people love to party. I think that's the big thing actually. We love to party and have like big events. So usually when you invite people, you have an apéro because you give them little snacks, little
Yeah.
salty biscuits and stuff like
Well,
that,
parties are
and something
definitely
to
a
drink.
thing in the US, and you
Mm.
always make sure to have just appetizers or whatever when people come over. So
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
definitely still a thing here, but
French people
again, it
love
doesn't quite
appetizers.
have a name like aperitif.
Yeah, I know, I
Did I
know.
pronounce
But
that right? Is it
that's
aperitif or aperitif?
apéritif, yeah.
Aperitif.
It's okay. Getting rid of the accent is really hard. But yeah, no, I think we just have such a big culture around that kind of stuff. Even like the terrasse, people eating outside. I think that came from France actually. People just love going into cafes and being outside and eat it outside instead of going inside the restaurant or whatever. That's why when COVID guidelines started lifting up a little bit and terraces were actually allowed, like you could eat in restaurants but only outside, they were filled to the
Yeah.
ground. People thought like, oh yeah, restaurants are opening up again normally because eating outside was so normal.
Hmm.
So like, oh my god, I went in the freaking streets in my city and there was not a single seat that was free. It was like,
Oh yeah, that even in the
French people
US,
love eating.
it varies depending on the area because obviously you're
Mm,
not going to eat outside in New York in the middle of winter. You can't do it in Chicago in the
yeah.
middle of winter. You're not going to
In
eat
France,
outside in
though?
Arizona in the middle of summer, but just in the
Mm,
areas where the weather allows you to do so, that,
yeah.
cafes or terraces or things like that where you can eat outside definitely were the first
Yeah.
things to come back here as well.
Well, that's the thing in France is that weather doesn't really matter. You'll see people outside no matter if it rains, if it snows. Like people don't really give a shit. They just want to eat outside. I don't really know why, but I mean it's kind of cool to be like, yeah, I can sit outside and drink something if I want to for not a lot of money. It's pretty nice. I have a lot of these next to my apartment. I am kind of in the part of Paris that's like very bars and very restaurants, so I have
Ooh,
like a
that's
bunch
cool.
of them around me. Oh yeah,
Hopefully, it's
there's
just
so
not too
many of
noisy
them.
when it comes to nighttime.
Oh, no, not really. It's actually kind of a quiet place. People just told me that it was super quiet, but like the bad type of quiet ever since COVID happened, because obviously the bars were
Hmm.
closed and the restaurants were closed as well. Um, but yeah, no, apparently it's not that noisy. People are just, having fun, chilling. French people usually, if they want to be noisy as fuck, they go into clubs, and clubs are very, very soundproof, so you usually don't
Hmm.
hear them.
Okay, well that's
When they
good.
go into bars, it's usually just they sit down, they chill, they talk with their friends, and they drink. That's it. You know what I mean? They don't go into like a ooga mood and fucking yell everywhere. No, that's not really a thing here. People are pretty chill unless they go into clubs and then it's monkey mode.
Mm.
They become animals.
Have you ever considered
Yeah.
doing just a aperitif stream where you just, maybe have a little cafe
Ooh.
background, get some snacks for yourself, and have snacks with chat.
Oh, I thought that could be funny, honestly, as a stream for like just chatting or something like that. That
Yeah.
could actually be very funny. There's the thing, it's such like a French thing, but at the same time, I don't really associate French with my character in particular, just myself as a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be super cool actually,
I've
and like
seen
a
plenty
little.
of just, chatting and
Mhm.
eating streams.
Yeah, that would be cute in like a more fancy way to like associate with my character. You have like little snacks on the table, and then we're just eating together. That could
Yeah.
be super cute, actually. I love that. I really do. That's super cute. But yeah, France is amazing. Woo! Not enough people give credit to France. A lot of people use it as a joke. As a French person myself, and one of the only French people who doesn't complain about her own country, I think our country is fucking beautiful. Not gonna lie. Like, not only Paris, you can go outside of Paris and like find beautiful places. We have this city called Strasbourg. We also have like Nice, which people like to say nice because it's literally written
Yeah,
the same
it's
way.
spelled as nice in English,
Yeah.
but
And like, it's just like it's beaches and stuff like that. You wouldn't think of beaches when you think of France, but we do have like so many different cities that have different vibes, and people usually jump to Paris when they think of France, but like honestly, if you do a trip to France, don't only go to Paris. It's cool, but you're like missing out on so much more. Like there's so many good places in this place. You know, like France is filled with historical stuff, filled with like good food. And not all the good food is in Paris. There is some cities that have specific foods linked to them that you wouldn't find in Paris specifically. And like, you know, there's just so much stuff. We have the museums, we have like the fancy shops, we have like the jewelry, we have, you know, clothing. There's so much stuff. We're basically like the art country. Which is why I kind of like it, actually. Just because it's art again.
yes, definitely
It's always
fits
the
you.
art.
Mm.
Yeah.
One thing I've actually
That's so cool.
seen some VTubers do is do virtual tours where they use either Google Maps or something similar and do the street view where, you have the images and
Mm,
they just sort of move around and they're like, so,
true.
this is this place. Maybe you could do a tour of Paris or just France in general
Yeah.
of, show
Some cute
people the
places.
beaches and hop around of, okay, so we're at the beach right now, and then go around to maybe the
That'd be cute.
countryside.
That'd be super cute, to be honest. That would be really nice. Because honestly, people need to see more than just like the middle of Paris. First of all, Paris has many other sides that are like super pretty that aren't necessarily around the Eiffel Tower. But also, like, yeah, there's so many towns that are like, they have their own vibes. We have like cities, but we also have campaigns and like stuff where it's very quiet, very chill. Stuff where it's like very flowery, very green. And then stuff where it's more like technology, you know, all the new modern stuff. So like we have a bit of everything. France is like a mixed country. People really think of like the ronron baguette aesthetic where like people have mustaches and berets on them, but like it's a very big cliche. No one actually looks like that. We do eat baguette a lot though. That's true. Not me. I guess that makes me not a true French, but but people eat baguette all the time usually. But yeah, no, that would be a cute, fun idea, honestly. Little tour to show people what France actually looks like. That'd be cool, yeah. That'd be fun. Thanks for the ideas.
Hey, always happy to provide ideas. Hopefully, I'll be able to tune in for that one because I have not been able to
Yeah.
visit France myself, and it's
Oh
one of
my
those
god.
places where I hope to
Mm.
eventually see one day. And I know,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm probably going to do a couple of the super touristy things, as we've said, visit the Eiffel Tower, but
Oh
hopefully,
no,
whenever I
obviously.
visit, that I'll be able to also see these other areas as
Mm,
well. Because you're right that
obviously.
just every country has their tourist traps. That if you're coming to the US, you're probably coming to either New York or Washington, D.C., but
Yeah,
there's so many other places
you're gonna go
to
to the
visit.
Empire State Building. You're gonna
Yeah.
go see the Statue of Liberty, stuff like that. But like, that's normal. I mean, it's pretty. Just
Yeah.
because it's like a tourist trap doesn't mean like the people who live there have seen it already. That's why they're
Hmm.
not going back. So that's why it's like
Yeah.
a tourist quote unquote thing. But like, yeah, like some French people like to go to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's a pretty building. Like, yeah, we have a lot of history stuff. So I would definitely say go to the tourist stuff. Like, don't miss out on the
For
tourist stuff
sure.
either. Just do half and half.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Get the
miss out on the
variety.
little stuff. Exactly. Do variety. Because yeah, no, missing out on the Eiffel Tower when it's like lighting up in the night sky. Don't miss out on that. That's really goddamn pretty. Um, Don't miss out on the cathedral, even though it's kind of in a bad situation at the moment. You know, don't miss out on anything that's in Paris, but just do half and half. Because honestly, both are worth it. Honestly, I'm so excited to see the Eiffel Tower. See, I'm a French person. I'm getting excited about it.
Definitely one of the things to have as part of the virtual tour.
Yeah, little Eiffel Tower. It's so beautiful when it shines. I think it also has like different colors depending on the month.
Yeah,
I think there's like
Empire State Building does that as well.
Yeah,
like,
for
different
Women's
light
Day, it
colors
lighted
for-
it up in like very bright pink with like sparkles everywhere, and I thought that was super pretty. It was so pretty. So yeah, stuff like that is pretty nice. I don't know if they did rainbow one day. They should. They should do rainbow. That would be beautiful. A beautiful little rainbow Eiffel Tower.
I have
But
to imagine
yeah.
they've done it at some point.
Even like, I just don't know. The thing around France is like the culture in general is just so good. I'd say the only thing that I don't like about France is the people's mentality, man. Like, we're so ungrateful for what we have most of the time. And like, I don't know, we have free healthcare. Not a lot of people can say that they have free healthcare. The government helps a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, we're very based on social help and stuff like that. And just like, France is pretty. People don't like to say it. People like to say when they see cute videos of France, they're like, oh, this isn't the France I'm living in. Yes, it is. You just haven't visited those places yet. You know what I mean? I love my country. I really do. I love the culture. I love the fact that we sell croissants because fucking amazing. They taste
Sounds so
good.
good.
Yes. Oh my god. Even the restaurant culture, the difference between France and America with like the food culture is that when an American comes to France, they might be a little underwhelmed with like the food because we eat very little when we go to restaurants. Not really for the meal, but like for the appetizers. Our appetizers are really tiny, like really tiny. If you get a piece of foie gras, which is like one of the biggest things in France that are very fancy, it's gonna be very tiny because foie gras is expensive, first of all, but also it fills your stomach very quickly. So probably American people would get into France and be like, what is that? That's very tiny. How is that gonna fill my stomach? And then the French people eat it and they're like, yeah, I'm filled. No, not more.
Yeah, you mentioned the difference in portion sizes all the way back to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Of if an American comes, they might want to, have an aperitif before going to the restaurant. That way you don't end up still being hungry.
One of my biggest controversial opinions is about Five Guys in America.
Oh?
I've been to Five Guys twice in New York, and I've been sick after both times, including my family.
Ah! That's unfortunate.
My family was so sick after, and I was so sick too. And the second time, so I was like, maybe I was just like a little fragile, you know? It's just I wasn't being a pussy. So I tried again, and I was
an
sick
allergy
again.
of some sort. I don't know.
Oh, it wasn't an allergy. It's just because there was so much fat in
Yeah,
the
that
stuff
that
they
if
were
you're
selling.
not used to that,
I
your
was
system's not going to
used
react
it.
well. That
We
makes
got
sense. Yeah.
massively sick.
Sort of like the
first
idea
time
of,
I got an actual, the first time I got an actual meal, like just classic meal that you would get in France. The second time I ate, hear me out, 3 fries. That's it. Just 3
Oof.
fucking fries, and that destroyed my stomach.
Oh,
So I was like,
no.
okay, it's definitely not about quantity, it's what they put into it. And I was like, yeah, it's so
Yeah,
fat.
and Five Guys is very greasy.
Exactly, it was so greasy, like the fries could slip between my fingers. I was like, what? Huh? So yeah, that was like the one part of New York where I was like, if I want to go to Five Guys, I'm going in France, not in America. 'Cause that was something new. And people keep raving about it, saying how good it is, but like I can't say anything else than, it made me
I think
sick.
Five Guys is fine. It's not the best burger I've ever had. I'm also in the, Five Guys is not the ultimate burger experience.
I wonder, what is your favorite actually experience? I'm the one asking a question for once, but
Now, are we talking just burgers or?
just in general, do you have like a favorite food place in America?
So I grew up in a state called Maryland, which is famous for its crabs. And
Interesting.
there is a a regional spice or spice combination in Maryland called Old Bay. It is a multi-spice that has celery salt, a bit of paprika. It's a very regional thing. It's now actually carried nationally by a lot of supermarket chains, but it started in Maryland, and it's basically an allspice that is usually used on seafood, but people will put it on anything, especially Marylanders. That
Yeah.
it's a sort of a pride thing of I put on
Oh.
Old Bay on all sorts of stuff. So my favorite meal is Maryland crabs with Old Bay. It's a very simple thing, but if you've ever been to
Okay.
Maryland, you know that the crabs here are different. And
Okay.
that's one of those, regional stereotypes that I very much represent, and I say yes, it is true that if you're gonna come to
Proudly
Maryland,
true.
yes, that
Yeah, those stereotypes
yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
proud of that.
I've found that food stereotypes are usually true because food stereotypes aren't usually bred out of like malice or anything. It's that they become known for a reason because it's good.
Exactly. There's not a lot of bad food stereotypes, actually. I've never really heard someone say, oh, the food in this place is absolutely terrible. It's
No.
either, oh, it's okay, or it's super good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Food
no,
stereotypes
I
are
understand.
positivity.
Exactly. Positivity. Aggressive.
Yeah. So for me, yeah, Maryland crabs with Old Bay seasoning is going to be my favorite. For burgers, there was a local place near where I live now that it's not a chain or anything, but I had it a couple years ago and it's been the best burger I've ever had. But Five Guys is just okay for me. It's not
like
the
a
place.
B tier, a C tier?
I give it a B minus, C plus.
B minus. Okay. Understandable.
Like it's
Probably
good. Don't
would
get
have
me
been
wrong.
bad
Like
if I didn't get
I'm not
sick
gonna
from it.
like I'm not gonna complain if my friends want to go to Five Guys that I'll enjoy it. It's totally fine.
But if they ask you for better, you will find better.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I feel that.
What
Yeah,
about
no,
you?
I mean,
That's actually a question that
yeah.
we've been going now for almost a little bit more than 3.5 hours. And I don't want to keep you too long because I know you had a long day at Pride and everything. And one of the things that I actually ask all of my guests is, what is your favorite meal? And it could be something that's from a particular restaurant. It could be something homemade. It doesn't matter what the price is. What is your favorite thing to eat?
Yeah, okay. So, favorite thing to eat, I have one salty and one sugary. So, salty, my favorite all-time meal that I love to do is chicken that is cooked with spaghetti. And then we have like this homemade sauce that my parents invented or something. It's like really greasy though. It's like with butter and stuff like that. Uh
Mm,
but it's so good. It's like actually dreamy. Like it's my birthday meal every time that I want something super good. I know I have to do this, but
mm-hmm.
the chicken takes a long time to cook, so it's something we don't do very often. But yeah, I'm a basic bitch. Spaghetti is the way to go. Love spaghetti. We have a French cheese actually called Emmental or Gruyere. It's like a very specific cheese. It's like the cheese, the yellow cheese with holes in it that you often see in cartoons.
Oh,
Like you
yeah.
see a
So
little, yeah, you see a little rats
we
taking
call
it
that
and biting in
Swiss
it.
cheese, but
Yeah,
I imagine that if you're in Sweden, they don't call
different.
it Swiss cheese. And if
Yeah, it's a different kind, but it looks like that basically. But it's like a very specific French cheese, and when you put that on pasta with like a bit of salt and like sometimes like ketchup or whatever, it's literally the dreamiest thing on earth. Like I could eat that for days. If you would give me like something to eat every day, I would not get tired of this. Never. It's so good. It's
is
like the
there a
one thing I
particular
would
way
make
that
people.
the chicken is prepared?
We put it in the oven, actually. I'm not sure if there are specific settings because I've never done it myself. But I do want to learn it.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's one of the things that you
Um,
need to do before you move to your new apartment. Ask your parents to write that recipe down.
Please. If they don't give it to me, I will sue. I need that recipe because it's like the best thing on earth. And for sugary, it's crepes. I have a very
Ooh,
soft spots for crepes. I Nutella crepes with whipped cream on it.
yes.
Sign me up.
That's a thing that has become a thing in the US. That crepes aren't a big thing here, but for those who get crepes, and especially because there's both sweet and savory, but for
Yeah.
sweet crepes, Nutella is absolutely something that is very much used here. I have a jar of Nutella in my cupboard right now that just.
Yeah.
Mm,
I know, it's so good. And I mean, you can add anything in crepes like these. Like, you can put ice cream if you want to. You can put strawberries. You can put, any kind of fruit. You can put whipped cream. You can put, toppings, any toppings you want. And that's like the best thing. Like, if you get tired of crepes, you can just change up what you put inside of
yeah,
it.
crepes are
That
like
sounds
rice. You
so
can put
amazing.
anything in it.
Yeah.
And it's a
Not a big fan of
base.
salty crepes, I'll be honest, because I mean, in general, I'm more of a sweet kind of person, aside from like the spaghetti stuff, because wouldn't get them sweet for anything in the world. But the crepe stuff, like, oh my god, it's a very big thing actually in France. We have a lot of restaurants who offer crepes because I don't know, it's just like a kind of a fan favorite, even though it's not French. I don't think crepes are French.
Yeah, there are a couple crepe restaurants here in the States, but they're much rarer. They're sort of a specialty niche thing, but there's one place, it's actually at a beach where my family usually goes on vacation every year. We didn't last year for obvious reasons, but we will be this year. I'm very excited, and
Heck yeah,
they do
so
breakfast
cool.
crepes, so they'll like have eggs and a little bit of meat in there, but they also have the sweet ones as well with Nutella or just different berries, sometimes ice cream, and it is a fantastic place.
Honestly, if I could afford going out to just eat crepes every fucking night, I would, because oh my god, the freaking restaurants who give you like a super big crepe with like Nutella dropping on it and like and like the whipped cream, it's like it makes me so happy. It's like if you take me out and like no, actually, if you do the homemade spaghetti and chicken thing, and then after you do crepes, I probably would be the happiest on earth. Like my happiness would last for about 3 days. It's the best thing ever. Other than that, though, ice cream. Love ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And some French sweets are very, very good as well. Like croissants are a big thing in the morning. Croissants with like strawberry jam in it.
Ooh, I've
Absolute
never had that. That
bangers.
sounds great.
You need to try it. It's
Because
like
toast
so
with
good.
jam is a big thing in the States. For croissants, it's usually either plain or sometimes with chocolate in them, and I love chocolate
Chocolate's
croissants.
chocolate croissants are actually not called chocolate croissants in France, which I find very funny. We call it pain au chocolat, which actually means chocolate bread.
Chocolate bread.
And I understand how chocolate bread sounds weird in English. You know what I mean? It's kind of odd because the bread itself is not chocolate. Because in French we have the little O in between, which means it's a bread with chocolate inside of it, kind of.
Yeah.
So in English it sounds weird, but when people told me, "Oh my god, I got a croissant," and then they showed me a picture of a pain au chocolat, and I'm like, "That's not a croissant. What are you talking about?" And
Yeah,
they
one of
say,
those
"Yeah,
lost
they
in
sell it as a
translation
chocolate
things.
croissant." Yeah. Oh, it's really weird, but no, yeah, they're very good. They're like one of the favorites for kids when they go to school. It's like one of the big things they get at after school. It's like the little kid treat. You get a little chocolate croissant. It's amazing. But like croissants with strawberry jam on it. Holy,
Well, that sounds great.
It's my favorite breakfast. So good. So good. I love it so much. We have a bunch of goddamn sweets in here. We have like éclair au chocolat. We have like the macaroons. So much stuff. Honestly, it's when I'm gonna be in Paris, I'm gonna have to hold my wallet because the amount of
Make sure you don't spend too much on snacks.
Yeah, there is like a big bakery that makes like super good like snacks and all that next to my apartment, and I was like, hold my wallet. I need to be careful with that one because I'm gonna want to go buy shit there every fucking day. Croissants are definitely gonna be a thing that I'm gonna buy every time though. Like, I know it's bad, like it's full of butter and shit like this, but even if I have to go get like ones that are like good for your health and don't have a lot of butter, I will, because it's the best thing on earth. Croissants are so good. I love the French people.
Do you have any favorite drinks? I usually ask my guests if they like tea or coffee, and I know you don't like either, so what type of drinks do you enjoy?
I love soda a lot and juice. Obviously anything refreshing, very, very big on that. But my favorite ever, which I don't really know. Some people tell me they know about it, some people don't. Do you know about grenadine syrup?
I know of it, yes.
Yeah, it's not like strawberry, kind of, but not really. Okay, that, but mixed with lemonade.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of stuff like that. It's not something that's super common in the US. More often you'll hear about grenadine syrup in bars for mixed drinks.
Oh yeah, for cocktails. Oh okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Cause yeah, in France, it's really rare that you will find a restaurant that doesn't offer stuff like that. Usually, it's either grenadine or mint syrup. I always go for grenadine to be honest. And yeah, it's super good, super refreshing, super fruity. I love it. Other than that, I mean, I like Sprite obviously because it's kind of like lemonade. But other than that, I love juice, man. I really like juice. I like fruity stuff. I'm a very big fan of fruits in general, so...
Favorite types of juice?
Oh boy, I would say apple juice if it wasn't such a big destroyer for my stomach. Because, like, apple juice is so good, but for my stomach, with all the issues that I have, it's deadly. If I drink apple juice, I will not be able to move 3 hours after.
Oh no.
Deadly.
That's always the worst when
Other than
it's something that you really like, but your body does not.
Yeah, I hate it. I understand how lactose intolerant people feel now, and they eat ice cream all the time. It's like, of course you love it, even if your body tells you not to do it, you just can't because it's so good. Other than that, yeah, Capri Suns, tropical Capri Suns, they're very good.
There's something just nostalgic because you can tell it's not normal juice. It's that sort of, slightly processed, but it is still really, really good. And it's something that I know a lot of people, myself included, really associate with childhood.
Yeah, a lot, me too. It's super good. Like the tropical flavor, it's like amazing. Other than that, though, I have one drink that you won't know what it is because it's French, but it's actually fizzy apple juice. We sell that in fake bottles of champagne, and it's quote-unquote for kids. It's like fake champagne for kids, but it's actually fizzy apple juice so that the little kids can feel like adults when they're tiny. I drank that as a kid, and I didn't get over it. It tastes really fucking good. We bought 4 bottles of it today.
Nice.
I'm gonna drink them up in a week.
Like,
it's so good.
It's definitely not a big thing in the States. Apple juice, normal apple juice is a very big thing. You can get, carbonated apple juice here, but it's something that you need to get from a specialty brand that you're not going to find it at every store.
I don't think a lot of restaurants, even in France, sell fizzy apple juice. It's just a big thing for me. It's called champomy. Usually, it's like a joke for like champagne for kids. But, like, there's just something about it. Like, it's so fizzy, but still, feels like apple juice. And it's actually less harmful to my stomach. So I digested better. So usually I go for that instead of actual classic apple juice. And, my god, any French person would tell you that it tastes super good. Like, even adults. You ask adults. My parents still drink champomy. Like, it's super good. It's one of my favorites, too. I love food and drinks. It's good. I have a hard time enjoying food and stuff like that because of how my stomach processes food. But I try to see it better than before, where it's just like, yeah, I can't enjoy food. Now I'm just like, yeah, it will hurt after, but, let's just enjoy the moment.
Set aside time if all right, I'm not doing anything tomorrow or later this evening, so I can treat myself to something this afternoon. And I know it's not going to be super fun, but if you're able to prepare for it, and sometimes there's supplements or whatnot that you can take that help things not be so bad.
Yeah, no, one thing I really want to do when I'm in my apartment in Paris is just treat myself to stuff outside more. Because, it's kind of seen as weird to go on a restaurant on your own or, go in the bar, but you don't have any friends to go with. You're just going on your own because you feel like it.
That was one thing I had to get used to after moving out on my own of just, all right, I'm okay going out and just getting a table for one, and hey, at the very least, it makes it so you get sat a lot quicker, because if you're going to a bar and whatnot and you're just looking for one chair, even if there's like a big wait, they're usually able to say, okay, we can sit you at the bar and you can get seated right away. You don't need to, be waiting for 30-45 minutes like the party of 5 that arrived here 20 minutes ago.
Because sometimes in restaurants in France, I'm not sure if this is the case in America, but they make you wait when you have like a big group next to you. They make you wait a lot at the entrance. So yeah, if you go on your own, people are just like, yep, we have a chair right here. Oh, see you later.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And just in general, I want to, I have my school requires me to get a laptop for my work. So I was like, yo, I could do like the cliche-est French thing ever. Go buy a croissant in the morning, get my laptop, and work with my croissant. Just like I eat
Oh
in a
yeah.
cafe and I work on my laptop at the same time. It's
When it
like
came
such a
time,
French thing, but it
mm,
feels so good to think about it. My God.
yeah, when it came time for finals, when I was in college,
Mm.
um, I would always go to a couple different places, but there was this one cafe that I would go to, and I would show up somewhere around like noon or 1 o'clock, and I would
Yeah.
order a drink and a small snack, and I'd make sure to get a seat next to the wall so there would be an outlet to charge my computer, and I would just sit there for,
Oh.
6-ish hours, and luckily, uh, the times that I went, it wasn't super busy, so it wasn't like I was taking
Mhm.
away business or holding up a table. But the server would come back and check on me every so often and be like, "No, I'm fine." And then just at the end of the day, I would leave a tip usually that was like at least as much as the bill itself because the bill would not be that big.
Mm.
But I'd leave, like a $10-20 tip or something in
Yeah.
just for the server, especially if they came to check on me regularly. And that would just be
Yeah.
how I spent my day studying.
That's actually a big thing that you guys have that we don't.
Tipping?
It's the tip culture.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, we do.
Don't
tip
get
in
me
France, but
started.
it's only. Yeah, I feel like that's ridiculous that
It's
servers only
not a
survive
good
with
thing.
tips.
It is not a good thing.
It's so bad. In France, they get paid normally, and if you give tips, they're like it's like a little plus, like a little.
Yeah,
In
that's
France,
something you do if
tip
they go above
people
and beyond.
Usually, yeah, you usually tip people in France if they've done a really good job. I've pushed my parents more to tip because in France it's not a big thing, but I was like, you know what, they deserve it. So usually I live more than $5 for each and every order that I do, even though it's not like obligatory. Like nothing on the paper says you have to please try to tip more than blah blah blah. Nothing says anything about the tip because they're already paid. But I always try to leave a tip. Like one point I was like, well, I have $10 on me left. You know what I mean? Like I'll just leave them for them because they give me a pretty good ice cream. You know what I mean? Like I'm not harsh on tips. I'm not like, oh, the service has to be perfect.
Yeah,
It's just like,
no.
yeah, I mean, they were kind. They gave me my food and they came back when I needed. Well, I'll give them a little tip. Even though it's really not necessary. Most people in France, to be honest, will leave a tiny tip or no tip if not necessary, which fair. I mean, the people already get paid, which is nice. But like, if they've done a really good job or if it was a big order, it's pretty nice to let the server know, like, hey, you did a pretty good job. Here, have a little money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. It's I don't understand how that's still a thing in the US. Why don't
I
we get
don't
paid
either.
normally?
Yeah.
Frustrating as fuck. My God, like it must be so stressful to like take on orders and then deliver to people all day, and they barely get paid enough to live. Like I find that so frustrating. That's like one of the thing about the US that I'm like, no, you guys need to fix that ASAP. That's
For
not
sure.
possible.
Yeah. Ugh.
So bad. Poor little like the poor people doing that. You know what I mean? Like in France, you can feel a certified, like when they deliver your food, you're like, yes, this person is getting paid normally. If I want to give them a tip, it's like a little thank you tip. And in the US, it's like, if I don't give them a tip, this person might not eat at the end of the month.
Ugh. Yeah.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't know why they're not changing that already. Like, if you have the money to run a business, you have the money to pay employees. I'm sorry. It's your fucking job. If we can do that in France, you can do it in the US. You guys have more money than us.
Yeah, I hope that that's something that changes because I have a lot of friends who are servers, and I never did that type of work myself, but just I make sure to leave a tip because I know that not everyone does, and I hope that eventually we see that shift.
Oh, I really hope so too, especially because I've heard a lot about servers not being tipped a lot when it comes to like big gatherings. In France it's pretty okay to like leave a, even in France, when you have a big gathering with like more than 8 people and it's like a big, festival kind of eating meal with a lot of people, you usually leave a tip, even though it's like not a thing, in France too much. When it's a lot of people, you usually leave a tip. And the fact that in the US you could have like 9 people eat and the person would have to serve 9 people.
Yeah, fortunately,
And
most restaurants have a thing where, like, if it's a party of 6 or more, that they automatically add in like 20% or something. So a lot of places do have that of just sort of compulsory when you have a bigger party, but
Thank God they do that. That is great to hear because goddamn, if they don't tip like at least half of what they paid for, like, come on, guys, you know, you made them work really hard. But like, I wanted to know that one thing I don't know about is the tip stuff. Like, it's not paying your employees until they get tipped. A law thing, or is it the the people that decide? It's just not like forced. Or the law says you can't pay your employees, and so you can't at all. Or like
No,
you have
it's a business choice, and
yeah.
it's a dumb thing. It is a really dumb thing.
Like, I know most businesses probably took the opportunity to not pay an employee and make them work overtime, but like, that's super nasty, man.
Yeah.
Super nasty. They usually take advantage of like the young people too, the people who just got out of school, like high school, and are looking for a job.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, not gonna pay you very well, but at least you'll get a couple tips. So say thank you now. And it's like, no, like in France, you will get paid like an average salary if you start, you know, if you're just fresh out of high school and you're looking for like a summer job, you'll get paid like at least like about 600 grand a freaking month, you know what I mean? Like $600 at least. And when it becomes like an actual job that you do every year, it's like at least 1,000 and like 500, because in France the average salary is about around that. When you're doing just like a summer job, it's more like saving stuff, so they consider not paying you as much. But you also have shorter hours. Usually, you don't do like a 9 to 5 job. You have like just like, you know, 4 or 5 hours a day, and then they pay you accordingly. So actually, in France, we have a pretty good thing with that. I know a lot of people request for bigger payments, which it is complicated with all the debt stuff, especially with COVID, because COVID put us in way more debt than we were before. Because we sent a lot of help to people who needed it. But yeah, no, I really hope that the US changes that, because
yeah, unfortunately, it feels like it's starting to finally push in that direction. That
really?
we've seen in the past couple months that actually a lot of servers have really started quitting jobs because they've started finding other ones that pay better. So it's not a legal thing, but certain businesses are now being forced to actually pay their employees more in order to just be competitive, so that people actually want to work for them. And it's slow and it's not everything it should be yet, but it's the first time in a while that we've actually seen real movement.
Any progress.
Yeah.
Well, at least that feels kind of good. Hopefully it'll be more in the future.
Hopefully, for sure.
But yeah, no, I think that's crazy. It's like the not free healthcare system. Like, I was so confused when I asked a friend, and I was like, wait, so if you get like an illness, that's not your fault, you gotta pay for it? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, what?
Yep. If you don't have the coverage, it's
I don't get it. Like, it's
trust
not
me,
your
I don't either. There's a lot of things that America can improve on.
Yeah, like we need to improve on some stuff as well. I agree, but like America needs some serious rethinking, because that is no. I could not think about it in my head and be like, why do people put up fundraisers for like cancer and stuff like that? Do they need some extra help? Like, what's going on? And then I heard that like you had to pay for your own cancer fees, the cancer that you did not choose to have. And I was like, what is this world? Like in France, if you get into an accident, we have like a bunch of assurances that make sure that if you get into trouble, you will be treated immediately. Like, there is no yes buts and no, like, you will be treated. That's it. You don't really have a choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's the same for like, oh my god, I don't want to ask that question, but what happens if it's like, no, I'm not sure if it's TOS, but like if it's yourself, if you did something bad to yourself, do you have to pay something?
It depends is the short answer, because it depends on coverage and a lot of different things. It is a complicated, messy system that, trust me, a lot of people over here definitely agree that there needs to be some change, and hopefully we're gonna see that.
Yeah, because I mean, if other countries can do it, then why can't America do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of money. It's true that debt is really complicated to deal with, and I'm not like, you know, I know it must be very complicated to rule a goddamn country and know, you know, what things should happen and all that. But like, in most of Europe, free healthcare is a thing. So like, why not other countries? You know what I mean? Like, you have not chosen things to happen this way. If a car bumps into you and it's not you who bumped into them, and you get into a car accident, it's not your fault. It's the person behind you.
Yeah,
So you should be treated for free.
usually car insurance is different than medical insurance. That you're required to have car insurance, and
Hopefully.
things get paid out there. So, yeah, it's health stuff
Mhm.
that's a bit, bleh. But on some happier notes, I suppose.
Yes. Happier
Uh,
stuff.
Do you have any goals for the rest of 2021? We're now, like, as of yesterday was the exact halfway point of the year. Obviously, you've done a lot of cool stuff already. You've had your re-debut, you've done the redesign, you've graduated, and you're going to be moving out soon. Do you have anything that by the end of the year you want to say that you've accomplished?
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I do want to get a 3D model again, so I can like switch between them if I feel like it, and also for my VR chat meetups, because I do VR chat meetups for my subs every month. I want to do more community stuff in my Discord. I really want to develop my Discord a lot. I would like to reach Twitch partner, obviously, if Twitch can give me a goddamn answer. It's been 2 goddamn months.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I would check up on that, because I have not heard of someone waiting that long. Make sure maybe the email got like caught in a filter or something. I don't know.
No, it has. Don't worry. I'm still in review. It's the thing for French people. I have another friend who has applied a bit ago, who's also French, and I was like,
French
if you get an
approval
answer
process is
before
different.
Yeah, I was like, if you get an answer before me, there's definitely an issue. And she has not been giving an answer, and it's been like nearly 3 weeks for her. So
That's weird.
I don't think it's no. The American people and Australian people get extremely fast answers, like super goddamn fast. When it comes to Europe, I've heard people wait up until 3 months of wait to get a single automatic email, which I think is ridiculous. I think it's really disrespectful to us, honestly, but gotta wait. I've done my research because I was very worried. And if you type like Twitch partner 2 months in the Twitter search bar, you will see many European people complaining about getting no answer for 2 months, and that really reassured me because I was like, oh,
at least
I'm
you
not the
know
only
it's
one
not
struggling
just
with that.
you. At least you know it's not some glitch in Twitch. So
exactly. And I did more research in depth, and I like clicked on the profiles of people who were complaining about like a year ago about it, and some of them actually became partners. So I was like, yay, that's pretty cool. They actually got it at some point. So I still have faith, crossing fingers for
still
that.
a chance. And even if you don't get it the first time, I think that it's an inevitability that, especially that your channel has grown. You said you've been waiting for 2 months now or something?
Yep.
Yeah, just even in the last 2 months, your channel has grown significantly from what it was in, April or May. So I don't know if are they going to, when they finally look at it, look at the stats that you have today, or are they going to look at the stats that you had the day that you submitted the application?
That's a very
if they're looking at the stuff from 2 months ago, I'm hoping that they're going to look at the recent stuff.
Yeah, because honestly, I had 2 big selling points in my VTubing career. I had like my subathon, which I thought was going to be like a one-time thing, which I had a lot of people joining to, like a lot. I got lots of big raids as well, so I was really happy. And I was like, yeah, that was like a quick event thing. And then I started my next stream, and I had like 90 people, and I was like, what? Because I had 40 average viewers before. Keep in mind that. The subathon is what pushed me. For some reason, I had no idea, but I started having like 70 average viewers after that. And in May, I started growing even more to like 80 average viewers, and like, end of May, I had like 90, and now I had like fucking 100 or something. Like,
yeah, you're way past that 75 now, so...
Oh yeah,
like,
the re-debut boosted even more, to be honest.
Yeah, if for some silly reason they're counting the old stats, just apply again, and like I said, I feel like it's inevitable that you're gonna get there. I'm sure of it.
Twitch. You won't run away from me, Twitch. Other than that, I want to do some more charity work. I want to do more charity streams towards like the end of the year when I'm fully settled in my new, my new little place, my new little studies. I I'd like to. Okay, I don't think that's like a 2021 goal though. But one of the things I was thinking of is doing my own shop, but like a shop with my own designs, not my character on it, but like actual art
Yeah,
designs.
things that you actually
like
created from the
yeah,
ground
like
up.
goth cute stuff or like straight up gothic. I was thinking of like doing a shop that has like a cute category, a goth category, and then a cute and goth category where like there's some patterns that are like, you know,
Sort of
both of them at the
crossover.
same time. You're like the
Yeah.
marshmallows and the knives on, you know, like a t-shirt or something. So yeah, I'm thinking about that at some point, making a shop. And other than that, I just want to succeed in my studies, have a successful, like a good full year, and hopefully, you know, have Twitch partner by the end of the goddamn year. And yeah, just keep going on making people happy, doing more charity work, trying more categories on Twitch, you know, more games, doing more, you know, more streams, more events, more fun stuff. Just, you know, in general, having a good time. Don't really have like any big goals of like, oh, I want to hit 10k followers or something like this. But I mean, it would be nice. But I don't really have a lot of follower goals. It's mostly focused on content and what I want to do as a streamer. But yeah, if I could stream more art, I would be very happy to do that. More art, that would be nice.
Well, I'm guessing you're going to have the chance for that. Oh my goodness.
Because of my studies.
John.
Yes.
John loves anime with the rate of 33. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody.
Hi, John. Hello. Thank you for rating.
You actually popped in a bit near the end of what would be the interview. Terminexia, Kane VR, thank you for the follows. Ayu, I guess the question is now, how are you feeling? Would you want to maybe go for a bit more since we have a bunch of people filtering in, or do you want to just maybe raid train? Merciless Doug, thank you for the follow.
Well, I mean, we could go for like another like 20 minutes to like, you know, say, you know, keep the little people who just joined in and then raid
so people
somebody.
Can get to know you. But I suppose also for the folks that just popped in, if you could introduce yourself again.
Okay, hi everyone who's new. I'm Ayu. I'm a virtual variety streamer. I'm French, but I do my streams in English. I do variety streams. I do ASMR. I do just chatting. I help new VTubers get into it, give advice to them. I do video games, any types of video games, honestly. And I'm also an artist. Nice to meet you. I'm your goth waifu, and I will force you to take care of yourself in a very nice way. I promise.
Yes, indeed. Also, Paradigm Shift 13, I missed you in there. Thank you for the follow as well.
Steppies raid. Oh my god. The Steppies. Not showing my foot today. I'm showing my face. But yeah.
So where were we? We talked a lot of food, talked about your goals from 2021. Well, I guess...
I'm hungry right now.
Oh no.
Oh, no, don't worry. It's a nice kind of hungry. I'm not starving or anything.
Okay, well, that's good. So if anyone in chat has any questions, now might be a great time, because we've been all over the board today. Definitely, if you just got here and want to learn more about AyuuChii, check out the VOD. I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube. It's always within a week or so, because I have the one for the Coco Appreciation Show the other day as well to upload. Just downloaded that this morning. But goodness, we've talked animation. We talked animation for a long time.
We talked about it.
If you want to talk about animation, folks, definitely watch the replay on this one. Talk cosplay, streaming, storyboarding, food, lots of food.
Gosh dang, lots of stuff. America versus France. Talked about a lot of stuff. But yeah, if you guys want questions to ask me anything. I am open, unless it's too private. Don't ask me about my hair length, it's kind of weird. I actually had someone come in my DMs and ask me that kind of stuff.
What?
It's really weird. Like, how long is your hair? What size are your eyeballs?
No, the way that you answer that is you answer given your model here. So, all right, if Ayu is 5 foot whatever, and then the hair, and then you can say, here you go.
My character is actually 5'9".
Oh, wow, you're tall.
Yeah, she is very, very tall. I'm a big, tall girl.
Yes.
I like being tall. It's pretty nice.
So one thing we mentioned earlier but didn't get to talk too much about is the stream team that you're on, the Virtual Onesans.
Yeah, true. That's true. We didn't talk about that a lot. That's true. Well, I joined it not a while ago, to be honest. It was very recent. But I actually sent my application back in February, so it was kind of a while ago. I've always wanted to be a part of it because, virtual Renaissance kind of my thing. The whole team stuff is about, taking care of people, giving advice to younger people, new streamers in general. And I was like, yeah, I do take care of people that way. Maybe not the same way as all of them, but I do take care of them. So I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of like a team that I would want to be part of. So I applied a while ago and got in not a long time ago, and I heard that like all the team members said yes for me to come in, which made me very, very happy. It's really hard to plan stuff between us because of the time zones. We have a lot of American people, we have Canadian people, we have me being freaking French, we have some people in the UK. It's very complicated. We have people from all the world, so we're trying really hard. We're probably gonna have another Q&A stream this month actually. But yeah, I heard that stomach.
Oh no, that was actually my throat. Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought you were hungry. Okay,
Nope,
well,
I'm fine. I had a big meal before we started.
Had the throat. But yeah, no, we are gonna plan a few more things. I think it's gonna be mainly we might try one day to have like a full-on collab with everybody.
How many people are in the group?
It's gonna... are we like 8 or 9, I believe, for now? I believe so. There's probably gonna be more members coming soon, but yeah. I was actually surprised that I was the only one accepted, because I thought that they were taking like big chunks of people. So when I was like announced as like the new person, I was like, oh, just me? Oh wow. I feel like kind of embarrassed. But when we did the new Q&A stream, actually what I thought about, when we talked about character design and like silhouette stuff, on the announcement picture for the first Q&A stream with the new member, my silhouette was there, and people were like, "Ayu, you think you're sneaky? You really think we don't know it's you?" Like, the silhouette just...
You did character design too well. Like you said, your character needs to be recognizable like, just from the silhouette, and it worked too well.
You bunny ears with pigtails, that exact bang, and those exact like side pieces. We know it's you. Stop trying to hide it. So yeah, no, I was accepted not a long time ago, and I'm really looking forward to do stuff with the members. We're kind of looking on doing merch together, like actual collabs of merch, like little keychains or stuff like that, which I'm really excited about. Other than that, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how things go, but really excited about that. Very cute team. I love everyone in there.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any plans on what your next games are going to be for your upcoming streams?
Ooh. Okay, I have talked about new games a lot recently because I wanted to try new things, and I've kind of always played the same stuff. Like, I play big story games that take me like more than 10 streams to finish, and then I switch to another one. And I was like, I want more of like short game stuff that I can just pick up whenever I want and just play. I want to go back on Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 because those games are... the nostalgia is amazing. Like, it's such good games. They're amazing.
Yeah.
I want to try Stardew Valley, actually. It looks like a very comfy game, very nice game. People told me about, like stuff like Little Misfortune that I would like to play on stream, but those are more like one-time streams, like you play it the entire stream and then you never kind of pick it up again because it's not like a long story game.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that. I also want to try, when I get my capture card for my Switch, I want to try Breath of the Wild because I've never played... Aside from Wind Waker on the Wii U, I'll be honest, I've never played a Zelda game. I watched a lot of playthroughs, but because of like money and stuff like that, haven't been able to buy a lot of Zelda games, so I really want to try out Breath of the Wild because it looks amazing, to be honest.
Yeah,
and my
my
animation self wants to pick it up for that reason.
Oh yeah, I picked that one up actually. I was late to that one too, but I picked it up last March, just at the start of the pandemic, and that was something that I played to pass the time, and just... It had been a while since I fell into a game like that. Of just, it's so big and there are so many cool things. The other favorite Zelda game of mine is Twilight Princess, which I think they actually did a remaster of that one. And if you're looking for a more traditional Zelda game, Twilight Princess is one of my favorites of all time. It's so good. The bosses are really neat. The art style is just a little bit darker than your average Zelda
Mm-hmm.
game, but they
Yeah,
make it work
that's
so,
cool.
so well, and the story, I think, is one of the
Mm.
strongest.
Okay, I'll go check that out then. That sounds interesting. I want to play more Zelda games. They look really cool. Um, I also was thinking of like more like stuff that like the chat can get involved with, like Metopia, the thing that just like came out recently, and
Yeah,
people have
yeah.
been vibing with it. To be honest, I really want to play Metopia and just like make some of my followers in it and have like
Yeah,
cute
and you can
fun
do super
stories.
silly stuff of just,
Exactly.
put in cartoon characters that you could put, I don't know, Monica
Yeah.
in there.
Oh, Monica. She deletes everybody in the game. I also want to do Tomodachi Life again, because Tomodachi Life is another one of those games where you can just put your followers in it. It's kind of like a story, you can be
Hmm.
like, ooh, by the end of this playthrough, I want these and this to be married. I want these people to have a child. Dumb shit like that. It's like kind of a nice, like a sim simulation, but you can add whoever you want in it. It's super cool. Um, I also want to do Mario Kart on the Switch, where viewers can join randomly. Like
Yeah,
more games
yeah.
with chat, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I was scared of that before because when I did Jackbox, some people
Oh,
joined
well,
with
Jackbox is
really
risky
nasty,
because you
yeah,
can like
really nasty
customize the names
usernames.
and send some nasty
Yeah,
stuff, but it's
really nasty
easier.
username.
Yeah, it's a lot easier
Mm.
on Mario Kart where you
Yeah.
have the limits on what you can name stuff and there's no talking, so it's just everybody racing.
Exactly, it's just spinning and drifting around. So honestly, like, yeah, there wouldn't be any trolling in that. So I'm really looking forward to that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm just vibing with those kinds of games. Honestly, I want to make viewers part of it without it being dangerous, possibly to my stream.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to like play games where I'm like having some kind of story. Like, there's like a beginning point. I'm like, okay, I want to do this by the end. Not like speedrun stuff, because I'm not big into that. But be like, playing Tomodachi Life and be like, yo, I want the blah 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 and blah 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 to have a child by the end of this. We're gonna try to find blah blah blah's favorite food. Stuff like that. It's stupid, but like I really enjoy it. Honestly, it's like tiny stuff that just makes the stream super fun and makes you want to come back too, because it's like you're invested in the story of it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Other than that, I want to finish Mass Effect, but that's gonna take me a while.
Yes, definitely.
A while.
And especially if you decide to go on to the various sequels.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm already struggling really hard with Mass Effect 1. People have been really nice to me because I've been struggling hardcore with it. Sometimes the map is not telling me exactly where to go, or like I don't see a specific door because it's too dark. And I end up being lost for about 30 minutes of gameplay, and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? So most of the time people were like, don't worry, AyuuChii, it's okay, we're here for you, it's okay if you're struggling, Mass Effect is an old game, we understand. That made me feel way better, because goddamn, I was so scared that like I was just being shitty at the game. And people reassured me saying, nah, it's not just you, like the Mass Effect 1 is just really complicated to understand.
That's good.
Yeah, so hopefully the second and third one will be easier to kind of play through, because the first one right now is giving me a lot of trouble. There's also a lot of bugs. I've had like my tank flip over and being stuck in that position for 10 minutes.
I've tuned in to some of your Mass Effect streams. I didn't see that though.
Oh yeah, no, that was hilarious. Like I just fucking cried of laughter because I was stuck, flipped over, and I was like dying because I was like, how do I get back up? There was like massive bugs too that made me just laugh my ass off. So it was funny, but at the same time, it's like, why does this game have bugs still? God damn it. Apparently it's the Legendary Edition especially that's having a bit of issues. But yeah, at least it's been fun. So I'm gonna keep going with that. But I do wanna do every single week my story game. So for now, Mass Effect 1. I will have a break and play another one in between, and then do Mass Effect 2, because I want to dedicate every single week to a story game so that people don't forget like the brain process and etc. I don't want to do 2 story games at once, like every week.
Yeah,
because that would be too much and people would forget the storyline. So I would like to get a game that's like very soft, very like nice, something that can be picked up back anytime, like Super Mario Galaxy. There's basically no storyline to know aside from the basics, so you can just basically play it whenever you feel like it. It's really great. I also picked up what was it, Ori and the Blind Forest. That looks like a really cute game. I bought it yesterday actually. I think it looks really, really pretty.
Yeah, I've never played that one myself, but I have some friends who absolutely love it.
The soundtrack is so amazing. I really want to play. I'm so excited. But yeah, other than that, for now, taking suggestions. Not too long not too long games though, because some people recommended me The Witcher, and I was like, is that a short game? No.
And
Never mind.
no, you'll be at that for a month.
Nah. There you go. So I'm gonna leave this game for now. Yeah, we're gonna leave it on the side.
We've been at this for a long while, and I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I do have one last question that I ask all my guests.
No problem.
And that is, what does being a VTuber mean to you?
Oh boy. It means a lot because my viewers have been able to kind of, be honest with me and tell me what impact I've had on their life. With the pandemic and everything happening, some people have told me that I'm like their inspiration to get into streaming, or like their little boost of the day that tells them that everything's gonna be okay. So honestly, VTubing to me really means it's like self-empowerment, but also empowering others, which I think is amazing. Like by empowering others, I empower myself back. So it's really just like a positive field, you know what I mean? It's showing people that life can be very good. You can do whatever the heck you want with it, and even if bad stuff happens, it can still be like a really good journey. And I hope to be every day, that little person that reminds people that they can be happy and makes them laugh when they're not doing so great. So, for example, during my re-debut, people spammed a bunch of messages and like big paragraphs of people saying, "You've changed my life, like ever since I started watching you, now I feel better about myself. You make those dark days go faster, you make me feel happier about my own body, my own mind, you know what I mean? Like, you make me feel accepted," and those kinds of words, they may seem just like words, but when you're the one who receives them, it's like so empowering. You're like, I'm actually changing people's lives just by speaking into a microphone with a freaking anime girl avatar, you know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. For me, VTubing is just, it was a life changement for me. Like right now, it's all I think about when I go to sleep, when I wake up in the morning. And as a good thing, obviously, it's not like a bad obsession. It's like I'm making some people happier than if I wasn't there. And yeah, just giving some of them a meaning to life again. And that's like the best thing I could ever ask for. I'm also inspiring people to become VTubers themselves, by giving advice and all that. And stuff like that just makes me happy. When I pop into a chat and people are like, "Oh my god, wait, it's AyuuChii, oh my god," and they get all flustered, I'm like, that was me before I started VTubing. That was me in other people's chat, just like going crazy when others were in there, you know what I mean? That was me when I just got started and bigger people showed up. And now it's the opposite. Now it's me showing up in streams and people freaking out because it's me in particular. And that just feels so good, because then the people start talking about, what you being there for them changed in their life. And it's incredible, honestly. I wouldn't replace it for anything in the world. That's why I really want to keep streaming as a side thing, even with my studies. And I will work my butt off on my studies, anything to keep streaming up. I will do anything in the world, even if it means sleeping a bit later, even if it means working harder and less free time. Because I want streaming to remain a thing. I want to, stay that little bulb of light for some people. It means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have been doing absolutely fantastic in your work to just, as you've said, bring light, bring joy, be supportive, aggressive positivity.
Yes, take care of yourself,
yes.
goddammit. Have you eaten at least 3 times today? Are you planning to eat at least 3 times? Because it's not evening yet.
Yes, yeah. Because for me, it's still afternoon, so.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. So you've eaten 2 times already.
Yes,
right?
I've eaten, and I want to let you eat as well. So we're actually going to be rating a friend of yours who is currently in the middle of a 12-hour subathon. Yes, Lynn Tsunami. So we'll be sending you all over there. But thank you so much, AyuuChii, for being my guest today. This has been so much fun. I hope you had a good time.
Thank you. I did have a good time. Thank you for talking with me. It was really fun to elaborate on some subjects. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. And thank you to everyone in chat. Thank you to everyone who has followed. Thank you to John for the raid. If you'd like to learn more about Ayu and keep up with her, we have her Twitch and Twitter links right here. If you'd like to follow me, I do a different interview every single week. And I have somebody very exciting lined up for next week. So hopefully you'll continue to tune in for both of us. And as always, just take care of yourselves, support others. Infinite Striker, thank you so much for the follow.
You better. You better take care of yourselves.
Yes.
This is a threat.
This is a threat to love yourself.
Exactly. You better do it, or AyuuChii Sleep Paralysis Demon will be in your house tonight.
Oh dear.
Thank you.
Grim Inferno, thank you as well for the follow. But once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're going to send you on over to Lynn. So everybody have a fantastic day.
Bye-bye, everybody. Support Lynn, please. She's amazing.
Bye-bye, and see you next time.
Bye-bye. Aw, that was super cool. Lynn's so adorable. Look at her.